I'd like to thank our sponsors of this game before we get started, starting with the Coffee House, Lasco Construction, Forest Tire, TDS, The Model, Hobbs Express, Thriftway, Lee County State Bank, Elite Home Healthcare, NMR Pipeline, First American Bank of Hobbs, Hydrotech Services, Emerson Media and Design, and Divine Energy. Thank you very much for supporting us. Be able to get this on the air as well. Without your support, of course, we would not be able to do so.
We're listening to you live, and you're listening to us as well here on the internet, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, HobbsAmerica.com again, and, of course, Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Get everybody in there as possible. Ty Friend along with Ron Gunner, Hobbs Eagle Baseball, last district three-game series with the Carlsbad Cavemen. Very important game, Ron. A game tonight and then two tomorrow as your Hobbs Eagles take on the top team in the district. But it could change things with a 3-0 win situation here in the next 2 days. Could put the Eagles in that district championship. Got to win at least two of the games here tonight to have a chance for a tie, and then look at the runs scored as kind of a tiebreaker for that number one seed. A number one seed in the district is going to help you in the seeding when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah, but this is not going to be an easy one, just like last year, and actually it's been the last several years that Carlsbad has dominated Hobbs. In fact, you go back to 2021, that is the last time that Hobbs is able to win a series in this against Carlsbad. And, you know, they went all the way up to state championship before they lost to, I think it was La Cueva. But anyway, yeah, Hobbs has a big task ahead of them. You're right about that. They have a 4-2 record at district, but Carlsbad has a 5-1. All they have to do is win 2, and they're guaranteed the district championship. So Hobbs basically needs to win all 3. It's going to be tough against this team because they're strong at home. In fact, they've got all 9 wins for home right here. And, of course, they're going to go for number 10 as well. Hobbs, again, once they need to get their bats going, of course, we'll be talking about that as well as other keys to their success for today.
Eagles, of course, won 2 out of 3 games with the Clovis matchup last week. One game won 8-2 on the home game, and then split a doubleheader 17-11 with the win. And then the last game, unfortunately, losing by 2, 8-6. Hobbs did outscore Clovis in the 3-game series, 31-21. Definitely some good numbers there. That was 15 more runs than they scored against Roswell in that previous series. Although they did give up 21 runs total to Clovis. The Eagles finished up with 27 hits in the series against Clovis, which was 10 more than they got against Roswell. They ended up giving up a total of 25 hits to Clovis, which was 2 less than what they gave to Roswell. So good improvement there in terms of the offensive and defensive numbers. The Hobbs Eagles came up with a .303 batting average in those 3 games combined, which was better than the .253 they got against Roswell. So again, 10 more hits on your numbers. Still got to see some improvement, though, in terms of looking at the players individually. A couple of guys getting 4 hits in the 3-game series total. Martinez was 4 for 10 for 400, and also Hernandez went 4 for 9 for 444. He was the top percentage of the team, the batting average. Parrish, who doesn't get a lot of opportunities at the bat due that he's being a pitcher and an outfielder at certain times, he was about 3 for 7 for 428. So those 3 guys stepping it up. A little bit of a drop-off after that in terms of the numbers, but we got to get some consistency on the bases. That's the big issue at this point, right, and get those runners not just from first and second to third, but also to the home plate and to pick up the victories. Because like you mentioned, we talked about a second ago, the Eagles need to really get 2 games to get the tie, and then look at the numbers of the runs, and then let the numbers speak for themselves. But 3 losses and 3 wins by Clovis over Roswell today puts Hobbs in 3rd, which is going to drop him, I think, in some seeding numbers.
Exactly, and we already know that they're going to get in. The only problem is those top 8 teams are very strong, and you have to, of course, go to their place to play, and that's not going to be easy at all. Just going to Carlsbad alone is not going to be easy. In fact, they've been holding the district to 18 points total for both Roswell and Clovis. Held Roswell to 6 points and Clovis to just 12 runs. They did double up on them, 24. That's the other thing, too. They've been doing a lot of scoring. In fact, they've gotten overall 59 points or 59 runs during those 2 series, and that's something that Hobbs needs to be concerned about. They need to make sure that they don't get them in double digits. Definitely make sure that they cool the bats down. In fact, I watched the Roswell game that they played in Roswell, and Carlsbad was able to get not 1, not 2, but 3 home runs, and the 3rd one was a grand slammer, and they were able to end that one early with a 15-2 victory with the bottom of the 5th inning.
Carlsbad comes in with a 16-7 overall record, 5-1 in the district. Coach Magaha, he's a first-year coach coming up from the northern part of the state out of Farmington. The Hobbs Eagles, on the other hand, 14-9, 4-2 in the district. So they're, again, 1 game back on the 3-game series. Will be the final straw here to see who's going to take that district crown for the regular season. If you take a look at the Max Preps poll currently, the Eagles are in that number 12 spot. Now, 16 make the tournament, so you said it might be a sure thing, but still, they got to be careful not to lose 3 games here, right, if possible, because that could really drop them down. Again, Hobbs with a 10.7 strength of schedule, so pretty decent numbers there. Carlsbad at number 8, 16-7 record, 10.6, and just a little bit shy of what the Eagles have on strength of schedule. Hobbs, though, right now, 5 games ahead, above 500, which is a very good thing to have. Even if they lost 3, they'd still be 14-12, and there's a bunch of teams beneath them up to that 16th spot with Cibola, who's under 500. And if you have a winning team and a team under 500, your strength of schedule is pretty decent. As the team above 500, a lot better chance they have a better seed than some of these other teams. But again, this is a mathematical equation here. There's other factors that will be taken a look at by the committee, and those will be announced Sunday, I believe, with the seedings. It
definitely will be, and that is something that Hobbs is definitely be concerned of. But today, right now, they've got 1 game. All they need to do is come out here, get some hot bats. But again, Carlsbad is not one to give up things. I definitely don't expect to see a whole lot of walks. Hobbs is infamous for being those that walk a lot and be patient behind the bat. Maybe they need to be like Roswell was in Game 1, where they took that 10-0 win on us. Just be out there, be more aggressive, and see what they can get done as far as offensively and, of course, defensively shut them down and get Carlsbad to get 0 to any, just limit them on their runs.
Carlsbad won the 2-1 series victories last year. They lost the first game to the Eagles 4-3, so a big win for the Eagles at home. But then Carlsbad held their home turf with the 2 wins, 9-1 and 6-4. Now in the game the Eagles won 4-3 to lead it off. They held Carlsbad at 192 batting average. Really good numbers defensively for the Eagles. Makai Brewer, of course, the big man, 2 hits for the Eagles, and that one had a triple. And Carlsbad only had 5 hits as a team. Eagles was 7 with 2 more, so that definitely was important there. Mostly singles for the Eagles, though. Xavier Alvarado, who's back on the squad this year for the Eagles, he had a single, and Saul Armendariz also got one. Game was tied at the end of the third, 2-2. Hobbs got 2 runs in the fourth to take a 2-run lead, and then just 1 more for Carlsbad in the 7th final inning for a 4-3 Hobbs-Eagle victory. But again, they lost the last 2 games, though, at home. This Carlsbad team finished 23-6 last year. They were 8-1 in the district, so they were the district regular season champs. They won their first round game against Cibola, the 2 out of 3, 11-1 and 10-0. Pretty easy victories there, but lost in the quarterfinals to Centennial 7-6. So again, new coaching change here going on. You kind of wonder if that had something to do with the situation not going further in the tournament last year. But Coach Magaha definitely has some good winning traditions, and in fact, he's got some decent records up north.
He does. In fact, he actually had quite a few winning seasons. He got 4, to be exact, 4 championship with Piedra Vista. And he did take his team, let's see, that would be overall to state championship, 6 title games for appearances in multiple classifications. So he knows how to win. He knows to do it in different places. He's not complacent. You know, they thought this was going to be a rebuild year, but so far they don't have to worry about rebuilding. Right now they're full steam ahead, and they look like one of the top contenders in the state.
Of course, Coach Boyle does have a good resume for the playoffs as well for your Hobbs Eagles. They beat Oregon Mountain. Oregon Mountain ranked 5th in the Max Preps poll right now. Hobbs beating them 2 out of the 3 games, 7-2 and 4-3. They lost to them 7-2 to start the season, but 2 wins out of 3 appearances against that team. Definitely some good numbers there for Hobbs. And if you look at that versus Carlsbad, the Cavemen lost to Oregon Mountain both games, 5-4 and 16-6. So definitely a plus for Hobbs in that. But if you look at the Centennial Series, Hobbs lost both of their games to number 10 ranked Centennial, 4-0, 8-7. Carlsbad beat Centennial twice, 6-1, 9-5. So I guess you kind of go with the wash there, although Oregon Mountain is a better seed, 5 versus 10. Those 2 teams doing a little bit different things against those squads. In terms of the Roswell matchups, the Eagles were 2 out of 3 winners on their matchup series a couple of weeks ago. Hobbs got outscored, though, even though they won the 2 games, 16 runs to 24 to Roswell. So -8, which is kind of a head-scratcher. Still got the 2 wins, though. Right. Carlsbad, in fact, demolished Roswell 35-6 in all 3 wins in that series, 15-2, 12-2, and 8-2. Clovis, Eagles winning 2 out of the 3. They went 31 runs, 21 for Clovis. Carlsbad won 2 out of the 3 games as well. Their loss was 7-6, the same point difference than the Hobbs Eagles had. Actually, Hobbs lost 8-6, but 7-6 for Carlsbad. They outscored, doubled up on the Clovis squad, 24-12. So a little bit better numbers there, but still some good comparisons there. Artesia, both teams winning over that squad. Artesia is number 1 in their district, tied with Goddard right now. Eagles beat them 1 point and 3 points, and Carlsbad beat Artesia 9 and 5 in their 2 games. So there's some comparisons of common opponents. That's about it when you look at the squads that they played. But I think Hobbs is going to have a pretty decent resume. They've played some tough teams at Cleveland, Rio Rancho. The list goes on and on of squads that they've taken on. They haven't beaten everybody, but the strength of schedule is there for a reason. Just like we saw in basketball this year, Hobbs is not a slouch when it comes to get that schedule together.
Exactly, but what I would like to see is a repeat of last week, at least the first 2 games against Clovis. I'd like to see Hobbs come out here, be able to play well, get some hits, get some runs going, strung along, and be able to compete against this very tough Carlsbad Cavemen team. You know they're going to bring it, though. They definitely bring it at home. They got some big fan support here, so you expect to see the most. But I'd like to see Hobbs just be able to play their game, be able to get some bats going, and be able to get those runs generated. Don't wait for the walks. They're not going to happen. And definitely, though, be smart and don't swing for everything and try to get those big ones because, you're just going to end up getting a strikeout.
Well, we're a few minutes away. They did start a little late. They had the senior announcements today. 4 players are seniors on this Carlsbad squad, so they had a little bit of a ceremony going on. We're going to take a quick 60-second break, get you caught up on all the starting lineups for both the Hobbs Eagles and the Carlsbad Cavemen here in Carlsbad. Game 1 of the triple header coming up next. Back live in Carlsbad, final regular season district matchup with the Cavemen. Best of 3, and of course 1 tonight, 2 tomorrow. We'll be back at Sportsman's Park tomorrow, 4:30 first pitch, 4:15 pregame show. The Eagles going to be at home for their final series there. We'll have senior night going on for them as well. Of course, both teams have a chance to get a playoff spot at home. Probably a little bit better for Carlsbad, where they sit in the Max Preps poll right now at number 8. Eagles at number 12, but they can move themselves up with some wins in this series. Definitely need to get at least 2 to be in a chance for a regular season district title and maybe a tiebreaker situation with number of runs in district. Ty Friend along with Ron Gunner with you this afternoon, or should we say in the nighttime hours. Comparing these two teams in terms of experience, Hobbs has 7 seniors on their squad, Carlsbad with 4, but they got a lot of guys coming back next year. The Cavemen have 7 juniors on the roster, just 1 for the Eagles. Cavemen also with 7 sophomores, 6 for the Eagles, so pretty even there. A freshman for Carlsbad, and nothing for the Hobbs Eagles in terms of guys below the sophomore level. So kind of giving you an understanding what's going on here. Hobbs a little bit more top-heavy on the senior. Playoffs quite a few years in a row now under Coach Boyle, which really got this team and program fired up. Looking at the roster, of course, your Eagles will be in the field, at the plate first. Carlsbad's defense, including Hernandez at first, Quintella at second, another Hernandez at third. They've got also Molinar, the shortstop, and the catcher is Granger. In the outfield, Risher in left, Fuentes center field, and Collins in the right field. Eagles starting batting lineup, Josiah Martinez, Jason Fuentes, Jaden Hernandez, Xavier Alvarado, Cole Kestner, Bernardo Gonzalez, Christian Montez, Saul Armendariz, and Juan Camacho. The pitcher today is Canyon Johnson. Of course, we saw him in the last series. He got in for about 4 innings or so against Clovis in one of the games. He is 3-1 on the season, his 8th game in this one, and an ERA of 6.07. We do see him at the plate once in a while at the DH, but tonight he's going to really be concentrating on shutting down the batting of the Carlsbad Cavemen. Would like to pick off a win on the road. That would be a great way to start this.
Exactly. Get some strikes to boot as far as, he has 27 for the season. So I'm sure he wants to add on to that number as well, make me even get it to win even 30 or above. The Johnson is wanting to get something done and definitely get it on the mound. The fewer the hits possible, and definitely wanting to make sure that his infield and outfield get kind of a rest for the day, because tomorrow's going to be just as tough.
Well, if you look at the games against Clovis last week, Eagles only had 5 hits in that first win, 8-2. That's all they needed. They had two doubles, 6 walks, and 8 strikeouts. They did leave a pretty big number on base at 15, only a 38% on-base percentage in that first game, although it was a win. The close one in the second game, 17-11. Eagles getting 2 less walks in the first game, 4. They struck out the same amount of times, 8. 8 left on base, a little bit less than half of what they had in the first game, and had a little bit better on-base percentage of 52%, actually their best of the 3-game series. So you notice the hits. I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but the hits do equal on bases and a chance for more points or runs scored. And you see a total of 17 in that game. When the bats are making contact, you get base runners, and that I don't have to be a baseball scientist to put that point across. Third game of the series, they lost 8-6. Hobbs 7 of 28, 250 in the terms of batting average. They had a couple more walks to their number, 7, the best of the series. Struck out only 7 times, which is 1 less than what they had in the first 2 games. They left 8 on base again, just like game 2, but only a 41% on-base percentage, so less than half. Again, that needs to be corrected. They got to get some more guys coming around the bases to try to pick off again against a team that's perennially going to be in the top 10 in the state, more likely in the top 5, and right now at number 8. So this is game 1 of the series. Of course, last year the Eagles did get the 1 victory, a 1-run win as well. But again, momentum is going to be a big one in this situation. When they play these 3 games squished together like we've seen in this 5A division the last couple of years, injuries could be an issue. Definitely the pitching rotation could be an issue. A number of pitches, which you tend to track in each of these games, Ron. You start to watch those numbers a lot more carefully than you would normally do, because, you have to think about the playoffs next week as well.
Exactly. Plus, just the games today and tomorrow, you definitely got to make sure, be aware of it. But one of the things I am aware of is this, that Delmonico Granger, who last week on his first game against the Roswell Coyotes, he almost hit for a cycle. He hit for a double, a single, and a grand slam. He was just missing that triple, which, of course, because of the 5 innings, he didn't have enough time to do that. But still, 1 short, that's pretty fantastic for a hitter.
Eagles right now as a team offensively, they're 260 in batting average at this point. They have 35 doubles, 5 triples, and 3 home runs. Been kind of on a stalemate on the home runs for a few games, but hopefully they're not really a power hitting team to begin with. So, you take what you can get in terms of getting that ball out in the field. Hobbs on a 43% on-base percentage this season. So, again, as many base runners you can get, the better for the Hobbs Eagles. The team they're playing, Carlsbad, last year they have quite a few guys coming back on the squad. Last year the Cavemen batted .351 as a team. That's the season number, so very good numbers there. They've got a bunch of guys coming back. In fact, 7 of them that were against the Eagles last year. Wright, he batted .333 last year. He's one of their top numbers. Quintella was .364. Also, Hernandez, .308. Granger Moreno, .299. So all these guys really doing a good job of making contact on the ball. Again, they lost in the quarterfinals, which was not where they wanted to be last season. But I think it's for Carlsbad, it's one of those reloading situations every year, Ron. They might lose some seniors like they did last year, but they get some more guys stepping up and always in the playoff hunt.
That's what you want to have, though, is that seamless rotation. That's what we see with the girls in basketball. We see them in several other games as well, or sports as well. Just want to see, train the old, train the young, and then when they go, the young get older and then do the same thing. It's just a continuous rotation around, and hopefully that is what's happening. Of course, Carlsbad looks like they're set for a while, especially with their new coach.
If you look at the top numbers for the Hobbs Eagles, Parrish leading at .409. Again, he doesn't have as many at-bats as his teammates, but when he does get up, he usually gets at least 2 hits a game and more of those multiple base hits that you like to see for a guy that's going to get your runners on base. So he leads the team in terms of overall average. Some other guys are doing a pretty decent job. Hernandez, a sophomore, .296 this season. Definitely want to see him stepping up in this game. He does have 8 RBIs. The leader in RBIs, though, is Xavier Alvarado batting .295. He has 27 RBIs. In fact, there's really not anybody close to him. Further down the list, you get Fuentes, 13, 18 make that 15 for Fuentes and 13 for Montez in terms of RBIs. So, again, you see a big separation between those that 20-plus numbers that you saw versus those other guys.
Exactly, and that's something hopefully they'll fix up. But we've got a couple of players that did well last season that are back again, Josiah Martinez as well as Gerardo Gonzalez. They're going to try to see if they can get better than they were last year. They had pretty good games against this Carlsbad team, but I'm sure they want to get more hits, more ability to be able to get some runs and be able to get those 3 wins that Hobbs desperately wants.
Well, get ready for the Hobbs-Eagle-Carlsbad matchup. Game 1, of course, Hobbs coming in 14-9, 4-2 in district, and the Cavemen at 16-7, 5-1 in the district. So we're going to take a quick break as they get the starting introductions here in Carlsbad. Stay with us live with Hobbs Eagle Baseball on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Eagle baseball after the national anthem here in Carlsbad. Ty friend Ron Gunner with you tonight as your Hobbs Eagles take on the Cavemen. One game of the three-game set, 2 tomorrow at Sportsman's Park in Hobbs. 4:15 pregame, first pitch at 4:30. And Ron, again, we've been kind of leading up to this one. For those fans just tuning in now, of course, Eagles come in at the number 12 slot, the Max Preps poll, and Carlsbad at number 8. Lots on the line in this one. 2 wins for the Eagles would get a tie, and then they'll do the tiebreaker to decide who gets the number 1 slot out of the district. And, of course, losing all 3, and Clovis picking up 3 wins against Roswell. It kind of hurt the Eagles, dropped them to 3rd in the district. That is for sure. But I think you go game to game, kind of the old cliche in baseball and other sports. But I think Hobbs needs to come out with a good start in this one, regardless of win or loss, to keep the momentum going and get ready for the playoffs. A good shot of them making the 16-team field. But, again, you don't want to let some problems kind of go on top of each other here. And Carlsbad is a team that can be beat. I mean, we saw Clovis knocked them off. And, right now they've had the 7 losses on the season. So it's not a question of them just stepping out on the field and just picking up the W automatically.
Exactly. No, it is definitely not an automatic win for Carlsbad. In fact, that's kind of what I'm hoping for because they won so much at home. I'm hoping they think it's second nature. And if Hobbs comes in and is able to strike early and be able to get some confidence in themselves, they can make this a good game. Otherwise, it could be a good long day for them if they're struggling to get come from behind on this Carlsbad team, because they will not relent and they will continue pressing as much as they can.
So the Eagles up to the plate first to get this thing going. Josiah Martinez, the right fielder, coming in with a .234 batting average, 15 hits on the season, 12 RBIs, 4 doubles, a triple. Hobbs is a team batting .260 in this contest. Of course, they were .303 against Clovis in those 3 games last week. One of the lefties for the Eagles, Martinez up first, black uniforms, kind of a tannish white pant there. 3 number is in gold for Mr. Martinez. Carlsbad in the white uniforms in the blue trim and blue hat. And we're ready for some action here for the first pitch of the ball game. On the mound is Hazen Wright. Curveball inside and a little piece of it, swing and a miss. Actually some contact, but it will be for the strike for Martinez. Nice day for baseball. Winds about 10 miles per hour. And sunny skies here. Very little cloud cover. Fastball down the pike for the strike. So now Martinez is facing an 0-2 count. And definitely would like to make some more contact. Quick reload here as Wright gets himself back up on the mound and checking out the calls from his catcher Granger from behind the plate. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball outside and low for ball 1. Count goes to 1-2. And a little bit more of a breather now for Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez has been a bit of a spitfire while he's at bat. He's been getting some good numbers, and he needs some today.
Starter on this team in terms of the rotation on the batting group. Hit curveball inside. Check swing over to the Hobbs Eagle dugout. Ricochets off the side and rolls up that third base line. Going up to backhand, it was Hernandez for Carlsbad. The third baseman, that's Fabian Hernandez. They also have Jace Hernandez, who is the first baseman. So both of those guys on the field at the same time. 1-2 count, staying alive is Martinez, starting off here in the top of the first. Slated for 7 in this first game of the triple-header. A little more of a delay now for Wright. Here comes the pitch, fastball, and high one, swing and a miss. That will strike out Martinez. Unfortunately, the first out for the Eagles, and boy, he delivered that a hard shot high and got Martinez off balance just a bit.
And unfortunately, that's his 18th of the season for Josiah. Has had a few missteps, and that was one of them. Hopefully he can bounce back in the next time around.
Eagles going to go second in the order now, as up to the plate comes Jason Fuentes, the shortstop. He's batting .200 with a total of 13 hits, 15 RBIs, and 1 double, so he's picked up some in the walk game as well, helping out the team with the score. First pitch high for ball 1. Wright comes back, fastball comes off the handle of the bat for Fuentes, fouled out to the right side over the backstop, out of play, and the count evens up at 1-1. Wind's picking up just a bit here, blowing into the press box as we speak.
Yeah, nothing new for us. We're always used to that wind.
And we got some hot air too, don't we? Here comes the 1-1 now from Fuentes. Fastball, now chopper down the third baseline. Scoop shot there for Hernandez. Fires it to first, and no, that drags the first baseman a little bit forward. The other Hernandez, Chase Hernandez, trying to reach out for it and got him stretching out in the splits. Throw was a little bit in front of that first base, and that will be a runner for the Hobbs Eagles to get things going here with 1 down.
So far, Hobbs benefits from that just slight offness of it. I thought it was going to be an easy out for Carlsbad, but instead of 2 outs, Hobbs has 1 on with 1 out, and has a pulse so far early in this game.
Yeah, that ball took a hop on the third baseline, went kind of high, so giving a second for Hernandez, and a wild throw inside near the helmet there, and it gets by the catcher, Granger, which gives time for Fuentes to get that space to second. So runner now at second for the Eagles. Jaden Hernandez, the catcher, at the plate for Hobbs. He comes in with a .296 batting average, one of the best on the team, 16 hits, 8 RBIs, 4 doubles, and a triple. Wright comes back, fastball high and outside for ball one, or make it 2-0 count. So Hobbs Eagles already getting somebody at second base, and that was Fuentes off a single and then an extra base off a wild pitch. Wright will take a peek back at second, turns and fires a fastball high. Good check on that by Hernandez.
Yes.
Flinched a little bit with the elbow, but no extension on the bat.
Exactly, was the right place, right time. Was thought he saw something, but at the last second went back on it and held it just right to be able to get that ball.
Yeah, 3-0 count now, so he has a couple of pitches he can burn here from Wright. Wright will come back with a fastball high and outside. That's ball 4, so Hernandez gets a free trip to first, and runners at first and second here early in this ball game.
And this is a pitcher, Wright, that basically dominated the Coyotes just last week. He also hit that home run. I think it was a 3 RBI, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, he helped his cause as well as on the mound.
Courtesy runner coming out for the Eagles. I bet I can guess Nick Martinez going out there right now. Xavier Alvarado now at the plate, .295 batting average. He's got 18 hits, 27 RBIs, 8 doubles, and a home run, one of the 3 homers for the Eagles. So he's not just getting RBIs in terms of the hits, but also the walks and getting around the bases that way. And right now, Eagles with runners at first and second with 1 down, as the cleanup man is Alvarado.
Exactly, and of all the players that you want on there, Alvarado is one of them, like you said, with 27 RBIs.
Wright spins around and fires a throw back to second to try to pick off the runner, Fuentes, and throws it to the right of the bag that time. I guess he was just waiting to see which runner he could pick off, the one going to third or to second. Everybody back in time, though, in terms of Fuentes and Hernandez. Now he's going to turn and throw the pitch in, a high fastball, a swing, or Flinch actually going to call the strike on now. Did come around on it, did Alvarado that time. Just waited for it and picks up the strike call, one of the lefties for the Eagles.
Yeah, it was called a strike. It was in the zone. It was a good call, a good throw.
Wright going to slow it down a little bit on the mound. Turns and fires a fastball, a little bit outside this time. A little bit up by the shoulders, and holding on was Alvarado, even up the count at 1-1 on the ball. He is fourth in the order, of course. Cole Kessler, the DH, up next. He's had a couple of good games in the last series or two. 1 ball and a strike. Big lead off at second for Fuentes. Wright's going to stare him down. Turns and throws second. A high shot. Behind the bag comes Quintella. Or actually, that's the shortstop to cover second. Molinar. He had to get up kind of high to bring that one down. If that would have gone over his head, that definitely would have extended the runner to third in Fuentes.
Exactly. I don't think there was much of a chance of a tag out. It's just simply keeping the runner at bay.
1-1 pitch, curveball inside and brushing back Alvarado, but the umpire calls the strike. Kind of a curve action there, a little high, but a 1-2 count now to Alvarado. And he gets on base here. It'll be everything covered up. Would be all 3 bases with runners on him. Wright's going to spy down behind the plate to Granger. Looks back at second. The windup of the throw, curving inside at the same spot again near the belt buckle and pins back Alvarado. They call strike 3. 2 Ks already, and that's got a wicked curve at the end of it, Ron.
Yeah, unfortunately that goes against Alvarado, who already had 24. Now he's got 25 strikeouts for the season.
Eagles now at the 5th in the order. Cole Kessler, the DH, as he comes in with a .349 batting average, the best on the team, 15 hits, 11 RBIs, 5 doubles, and 1 homer of the 3 the Eagles have. Runners at first and second. Fastball clips the outside corner. And, boy, Wright is starting to get into a rhythm here on the mound.
Exactly, and that's what you did not want to see happen. Once he gets into that groove, you cannot shake him, and it's hard to get past him on that one.
0-1 pitch coming now to Kessner. More delay now for Wright, changing some of the calls that he wants. And now he's going to get time called as Kessner getting sick of the wait. He's going to mess with his batting gloves down, backs out, shakes his uniform off just a bit, and back in the box for the Eagles. Still scoreless, top of the first, 2 down for Hobbs. Runners at first and second. Here comes the pitch from Wright. Fastball gets by. Granger behind the plate will extend the runners to second and third, and definitely not what they wanted to have happen. Second wild pitch here early in the game.
Exactly. For Carlsbad, that is now you got 2 in scoring position for Hobbs. That would be great, but unfortunately 2 outs, although they have really done well this season so far with 2 outs.
Got to remember, too, last year Hobbs did win the first game of the 3-set series 4-3 in a close ball game. 1 ball and 1 strike as Wright continues to face Kestner. The windup of the throw. Curveball high for the ball. So definitely going to keep himself alive is Kestner, the DH. 2-1 count now. But again, 2 down. So Hobbs got to be very smart on the bases here. First base is left open at this point for Kestner. Fastball off the end of the bat. A little late of a swing. It's going to go foul right over the Carlsbad dugout. And the even count now at 2-2. Gonzalez due up next for the Eagles. He's got a 192 batting average with 8 RBIs. Could use his bat as well. Couple practice swings there for Kestner. And here comes Wright. Fastball barely misses outside. Looked like it had the height that it needed to go, but barely misses the clip of the outside corner. Full count now, the first we've had here in the top of the first. Very important pitch coming here as the Eagles are tasting a run to try to get on the scoreboard first in this 7-inning game. Wright says yes quickly to a pitch call from Granger. Turns, fires a fastball, and gets the call, the strike. Ringing up Kestner. Coach Boyle shaking his head in the coach's box and doesn't have anything to say for the umpire, but the Eagles needed to protect the plate on a full count there. Unfortunately, pick up 3 Ks in that top of the first inning. 1 hit, 2 left on base, no runs come across. We go to the bottom of the first. Hobbs Eagle defense on the field. We'll be back in 60.
All right, we are live here at Carlsbad. We almost had a score. We had scores in second and third, but unfortunately a strikeout does end that inning, top of the first. 0-0 Carlsbad up to bat now. And with the call, here he is, Ty Friend.
On your bases for the Eagle defense, Alvarado first, Montez second, Gonzalez third, Fuentes the shortstop. Behind the plate, you got Hernandez and Canyon Johnson, the starting pitcher, 3-1 record, 8th game for him, 6.07 ERA. Outfield is Armendariz left, Camacho in center, and he hasn't played in the last 2 ball games against Clovis. Martinez in the right field. Top first man, Eloy Lopez for the Carlsbad Cavemen, the DH. And here comes Canyon Johnson, not wasting any time. Fastball right down the pike, and Lopez just kind of watched it a little bit during the headlights and takes the strike on the first pitch of the game for Johnson. Still 0-0, bottom of the first. Johnson again back to the pitch quickly. Fastball a little bit more inside, a clip shot right back over the head of Johnson. Reaches up the glove, gets it, throws it to first, and gets the out. Got that glove way up in the air behind his left ear that time. Pulls it down as a throw over to Hernandez, or to Alvarado, I should say, for the 1-3 for out number 1.
Yeah, it was a chop right over to the pitcher. He was able to corral it, be able to get it over there, and Johnson got the easy out to Alvarado, like you said.
Second in the order, Delmonico Granger, the catcher. He had to deal with a couple of wild pitches in the top of the first. And Johnson back to business quickly. Here comes the fastball, like his first pitch of the game, right down the middle for the strike. Still 1 down here in the bottom of the first, scoreless in Carlsbad. 2 games tomorrow in Hobbs, of course, to wrap up the regular season. Very critical games. Eagles need to get 2 wins to get this into a tie situation. 0-1 pitch, fastball, a little late to the swing for Granger for the strike. And the count now 0-2, so quickly Johnson up ahead of Granger.
Yeah, still early on this, but Johnson pitching so far perfectly, doing exactly what he needs to do. Like I said, he needs to keep the bats limited to 0 if possible.
Very sunny here in Carlsbad, so the sun will be a factor. Curveball, and woo, boy, that could stay a little bit outside as Granger just held his ground in the box that time, but picks up the first ball on a 1-2 count.
Yeah, close but no cigar on that one. Looked like it could have been possibly, but just did not make inside the zone.
A little bit more of a rest here now for the starting pitcher Johnson. Curveball up by the outside elbow, left elbow of Granger. Holds his ground once again and takes the ball called. 2-2 count. As he looks over to Coach Magaha there on the third base coach's box side, who's well outside the box at this point. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Granger. And Johnson delivering the fastball, going to be cracked out towards left. Does it have enough air to get underneath it? Yes, it does. Coming across his body for the catch for the Eagles is Saul Armendariz for out number 1. Had to shift a little bit to the left towards the third baseline, but is able to come across for the catch. And that will be out number 2, and brings up third in the order for the Cavemen, Fabian Hernandez, the third baseman.
Yeah, and we have seen this happen before, but hey, so far, you get 2 outs in the first of the inning against Carlsbad, you're winning already, but you still need to keep that up. Either you get them to hitless or you get them to pop out.
Fastball low and outside for ball 1 from Johnson. 3-game series, of course, in this district in the 5A the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, the most important one of all.
Fastball off the middle of the bat, out towards right center. Shifting over from the right fielder position is Martinez, and he had to sprint a little bit over to right center to make the catch on the run. So we got some good base or outfield work from the right and left fielders in terms of Armendariz and Martinez. So the fly out to right center for out number 3. Carlsbad, no hits, nobody on the bases, no runs scored. We go to the top of the second. Hobbs 0, Carlsbad 0. Eagles at the plate next.
Back here for more action as we're in Carlsbad. Hobbs is facing Carlsbad. The winners is going to be the district champion, but right now we're looking at 0-0 for the score at the bottom of the first, actually top of the second now. As Hobbs gets back into it with the bats, here is the call from Ty Friend.
Carlsbad Cavemen, in terms of district up to this series, 59 runs, 18 from Clovis and Roswell against them. Eagles have had 47 runs and given up 45 to Clovis and Roswell. So Hobbs with 12 less runs and also 27 more runs given up. So Carlsbad definitely in the driver's seat with a 1-game lead over the Hobbs Eagles, but this is the first time they've played, so we'll have to see how this goes. We are scoreless. Top of the second, your Eagles now will be up to the plate. They've already gone through 5 batters. Number 6 is Bernardo Gonzalez as he steps up. Gonzalez batting 192, has 10 hits, 8 RBIs, double, triple, and definitely getting some extra base hits so far. Takes the first fastball outside for ball 1.
And that's a good eye for him. He needs to be patient and be able to get those pitches and deliver it and get on base.
Still scoreless here in the top of the second. Fastball outside. This time it clips, though, barely at the last second. Umpire gets the fist up in the air for the strike. Count goes to 1-1.
So you may see a lot of that, especially on the far side. Looks like he's just catching the corner of it for that strike call.
Here's the windup and the throw from right. Fastball. He likes to go outside quite a bit of his pitches so far. This one a little bit too far out. Has having to shift over as Granger, the catcher, for ball 2, 2-1 count. And he's definitely a tall kid. Got some good long legs as well. Fastball does clip the outside corner this time for strike 2. And stomping out of the box that time for the Eagles, Gonzalez. He didn't like that one and looks over to Coach Boyle, who's back near the dugout at this point. And a big pitch coming here for right. Got to protect the plate, does Gonzalez. Takes a fastball at the end of the bat, a wobbler roller over to second to Quintella, who is between first and second. Easy sidewind shot over to his baseman Hernandez at first for the 4-3 for out number 1.
And unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes when you get those pitches on the other side of the plate. You tend to hit them. They get become dribbling in the infield, and they usually are an easy out.
Christian Montez, the second baseman for the Eagles. He's batting .290 with 18 hits, 13 RBIs, and 3 doubles. Curveball inside, a knuckler. It's a wobble out to shortstop. Molinar picks it up, throws a bouncer over to first, and not in time. Trying to scoop it out for Carlsbad with Hernandez, but the runner already across quickly. A nice hard shot for Montez. Not sure they're going to call that an error or not. It was close, but a single we're going to go ahead and give to Montez. 2 hits for the Eagles on singles, Fuentes and Montez. And now, just like the first inning, we got runners on early, Ron.
Exactly, 1-1 run on. I mean, yes, one out, but still, you got plenty of opportunities, and Hobbs needs to make those. They've been doing a little bit better bat-wise so far against this Carlsbad team.
So Armendariz batting .250, 15 hits, 10 RBIs, and 3 doubles. First pitch, fastball outside. We've been seeing that as a start pitch on most of these at-bats so far against the Eagles for the ball. 1-0 count to Armendariz, who is 7th, or make it 8th in the order for the Eagles. Quick throw to first, diving face first back into the bag is Armendariz, or correction, Montez at first, gets back in time. And again, turf field here in Carlsbad. We saw a little bit of dirt there in Clovis around the bases and the pitching mound, of course. Fastball low and outside for ball 2. Good eye for Saul Armendariz. Juan Camacho getting back in action in this game, will be 9th in the order. Sat out the last 2 games against Clovis. Did play game 1 against the Wildcats. Here's the 2-0 pitch, fastball for the strike. A little high on that one, but enough for the umpire to count as the strike call there with the 2-1.
Looks like there won't be a lot of hit by pitches from this Wright character simply because he's pitching on the other side. He's not getting anywhere near that batter.
Here comes a 2-1, fastball, low and outside for ball 3. That time Armendariz did not bite on that one. He's got a pitch to burn if he wants to.
But I would keep a good eye on it because it could be hittable.
Pre-game show tomorrow at 4:15 to start the second game of the doubleheader. Or second game of the series, first of the doubleheader. Fastball high, swing and a miss. The stolen base opportunity here. Dive to second. Does he get there in time? Yes, he does. Sliding past the bag as his body flopping on the ground there was Montez, but well across the bag in time. So a stolen base for him. Although the strike call at the plate gets it to a full count situation for Saul Armendariz, trying to stay alive for the Eagles, 8th in the order.
Yeah, now he's got a run and score position, so he can definitely make some damage. If he gets a double on this one, he definitely has an RBI in his name.
Yeah, 10 RBIs this season. Fastball, clips the outside corner, get ready to throw his bat to run up to first on a walk, but that's not the call. It's a strike. Another K recorded by Wright. That is 4 here in the contest so far.
Yeah, and he's had 2 in each inning. That is not a good sign for Hobbs. They're still getting the bats, but they're not getting it consistently. If they get just 1 hit per inning, it's not going to add up to much.
Yeah, you don't like to call strikes to finish up your time at bat. Juan Camacho's up now. He's batting .273 with 15 hits, 12 RBIs, 2 doubles, and 2 triples. Fastball goes and clips the outside corner for the strike. But 2 down for the Eagles. They got a runner at second as they're trying to get their first run of the ball game here in the top of the second. Still scoreless. Wright taking a lot more time now as he peeks back at second, turns and fires the fastball outside. And that'll be a ball, but you can see Granger starting to shift a little bit more to the right, the catcher, as he knows that runner at second. He's going to have his body turned to third to make the throw to tag him out if they can. But Hobbs got to be smart on the bases, too. They don't want to get their third out with a runner on second.
Yeah, I saw Roswell do that a couple of times, get caught stealing.
There's that fastball, clips the outside corner once again for strike 2. And now definitely got to get that bat working here for Juan Camacho. As Camacho steps in, he's got those 12 RBIs. And it's definitely wanting to hit home Montez there at second. Curveball comes inside and brushes back Camacho, but that's going to be a ball call. 2-2 is your count with 2 down here in the top of the second. Wright going to put on the stop sign on the mound. He's definitely going through some pitch counts here with his catcher Granger, and a time is called, and Hobbs has done that a couple of times with all that delay and figure out which pitch is going to come. They don't want that to start working their mind, so Camacho wants to step out and get himself readjusted here. Back in the box quickly, though.
Yeah, but he's definitely got to protect that far corner.
Wright goes fastball high, swing and a miss, another K, and that will round out the batting order for the Eagles. 5 strikeouts pitched so far for Hazen Wright. And unfortunately, the Eagles still leave a man on base. A hit, nobody comes across. We go to the bottom of the second. 0-0 your score in Carlsbad. Hobbs Eagles on the road and playing defense next.
Back here live at Carlsbad, Hobbs has been able to get a hit in each of the innings, but they have not been able to get any runs to generate. And Carlsbad is now up to bat. And for the call at the bottom of the second, it is Ty Friend.
Yes, a 3-game series between these two teams, and the Hobbs Eagles and Carlsbad Cavemen have been the squads really been vying for the district championships over quite a few seasons now. As back on the mound, Canyon Johnson for the Eagles. Bottom of the second, his first pitch coming. Little curveball above the helmet of Aiden Quintella. He is fourth in the order, the cleanup man, second baseman for the Cavemen. They only went through 3 batters in the top of the first. Again, Johnson not wasting any time like he did in the last inning. Fastball outside. Has a good save there for Hernandez for the Eagles to make that not a wild pitch. Count goes to 2-0.
Quintella was the one that hit their first home run against Roswell for that first game in Roswell.
Of course, those two teams, Clovis and Roswell, playing in their series this week as well. Fastball, a little low inside for ball 3. So getting well ahead of the count is Quintella at the plate. Risher, Wright, and Collins due up next for the Cavemen. Here comes a 3-0 now. Expect a fastball. There you got it. Clips the inside corner for the strike. Count to 3-1. Eagles again ahead of 500 with 14-9 record. Definitely a good situation with only 3 games left in the regular season. They will be above 500 at least by 2 games at the worst. And you mentioned no hits by pitch yet. That one went right in the middle of the numbers there off the back of Quintella, right between the 1 and 5. So he is hit, and he's going to take a freebie to first base, and you could hear the thud of the ball right in the thick of the shoulder blades.
We're hoping that Johnson will be able to get better command on his stuff. Unfortunately, that one got away no matter what, though. It was a hit by pitch, and it does put a person on first.
Yeah, with a 3-0 count, usually just see a quick fastball down the middle. Pretty much all you need on those just to keep the guy at the plate innocent on that. Gus Risher now up, takes the fastball high for ball 1. He's the left fielder, and he comes in at the number 6 slot, or 5th slot, I should say, for Carlsbad. 1-0 count. Time was called, and now finally Risher gets back in the box. Umpire helping him out to hold off Johnson's pitch. Turns and fires, fastball, chop shot off the handle, goes over the top of the backstop, out of play, foul, and the count to 1-1.
Risher didn't do a whole lot against that first game against Roswell. He did get a single, which turned into a run, was walked, and then had a fly out to right center.
Aiden Quintella, big lead off at first. No outs here in the bottom of the second. Carlsbad at the plate. Little shift right for Hernandez for the Eagle catcher. The stolen base attempt thrown to the left of the second bag. Nice save there by Hobbs shortstop. That was Fuentes as he was coming over to help out on that play. But definitely there in time. But he saved an extra base being taken by just kind of backhanding that errant throw left of the second base.
Yeah, kept his body in front of it, so at the very least, even if it hadn't hit his glove, it would have been. It wouldn't have gone into the outfield, and that's the major thing.
That was a sidewinder throw from Hernandez. I'm not sure if he was trying to aim it left of the bag, but regardless, good stop there by Fuentes. Fastball goes high for Johnson, so Risher now gets a 2-1 count, as he does have that runner at second off the stolen base by Quintella.
So we've got a 2-2 count.
Yep, they're going to get that scoreboard back up there to put him at 2-2.
Yeah, that steal attempt, that was off that strike.
Johnson still taking time this one, and he kind of was speeding up his pitches. Now he's worried about the runner back at second. Turns and fires a fastball at the middle of the bat. Going to be out towards shallow center field. Hopping up in the air to make the catch for the Eagles. The center fielder, Camacho. Hippity-hop action out there as it kind of shifted towards right center. And he gets the fly out from Risher for the out.
And that pretty much answers the question, is Camacho up to game standards? And it looks like he is. He was able to get that one easily for the first out of this inning.
Hazen Wright, the starting pitcher for Carlsbad, checking in now, 6th in the order. And also number 6 in terms of his jersey number. One down here in the bottom of the second, still 0-0. Here comes Johnson with the curveball inside, and holding on it was Wright for the strike.
Now, he did have that home run in the against the Roswell Coyotes, but he also had a strikeout, too, during that game.
Count 0-1 now. Johnson's going to take a little slow of a throw back to second just to kind of wake up Risher or make that Quintella just a bit. Really didn't put much oomph on that throw to second. Keeps peeking back there to see what the runner's doing, and Quintella fires a fastball a little bit low and outside for ball 1 to count to 1-1.
Well, he is putting himself a pretty good distance between him and second base. So the thing is, though, is he's just far enough, though, if they throw to second, he could advance to third.
Wide up in the throw. Canyon Johnson's curve floats down the middle of the pike at the last second, straightening up for the strike. And the count to 1-2. Still 0-0 ball game. Fastball down the middle is going to be a bouncer to second. Should be a routine play for Montez. Fires to first. Gets the 4-3. Runner does advance to third. And that'll be out number 2. That'll bring up Tanner Collins, the right fielder for the Cavemen. He's 7th in the order. And now a guy knocking on the door there at third is Quintella. After that stolen base getting to second, extends to third now. And the Eagles got to be very cognizant of that runner. They got to make sure their pitchers are solid, that they're not getting by Hernandez behind the plate. And definitely going to put some pressure on Collins to keep it alive with 2 outs. Fastball down the pike. Whoa. That was looked like it was right in the zone that time. Must have been a little bit high as they call that one a ball.
Just off the mark, looks like. So, yeah, was not called a strike.
Johnson looking over third. Checks Quintella. Turns and fires. Curveball down the middle for the strike. Nice pitch there as it floats across for the count to now 1-1 with 2 down. Nobody across the home plate yet for either team here in the bottom of the second. The 1-1 pitch, curveball right in the middle of the back, or did a piece of the bat hit it?
It hit the bat.
Yeah, Collins is turning his back into it as well, so I think the umpire saw that action as well, so not going to cost Johnson on his second hit by pitch. Quintella was the guy that got it first time, and he's on third base already wanting to score. Counts 1-2 now to Collins. Fuentes and Molinar, 8th and 9th in the order for the Cavemen. Have not gotten through the order yet.
Well,
here comes a pitch from Johnson, curving inside, a high shot. It's going up towards center field, a long and high one, and a couple of steps back to make the catch for Camacho. A couple of flyouts to him, and that'll be out number 3. No hits, 1 left on base, no run score for the Cavemen. We're going to the top of the third, almost halfway through. 0-0 your score, live on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
All right, we are back as it is still tied 0-0. Both sides are struggling a little bit, but that is good news for Hobbs as they have a chance again, top of the third. And here's the call. It's Ty Friend.
Carlsbad Cavemen 5-1 in district. Your Hobbs Eagles at 4-2, 1 game back from the Cavemen. This series definitely going to be the decider who the district regular season champ's going to be. And Hobbs needed to win 2 games to get a tiebreaker situation in the district. Right will fire the first fastball, misses low and outside for ball 1. As he faces for the Eagles, top of the order, Josiah Martinez. Hobbs has managed 2 hits in this game, both singles by Fuentes and Montez. Second pitch coming quickly for right, goes inside on the curve. No can do for Martinez. He just holds his ground and picks up a ball inside for a 2-0 count. Hobbs has been struck out 5 times, though, as Wright's starting to get a rhythm there, getting towards the bottom of the first. Curveball inside and spinning out of the way of it for Hobbs was Martinez. Almost got him on the inside elbow, but able to washing machine his way from the pitch. Now 3-0 count, too, well ahead of Wright.
Looks like one of Wright's kind of Achilles heels is left-handed batters.
Fastball high and outside, and Martinez just steps out of the box. They don't have nothing to do with that one. So he got struck out the first time to start the game, but this time a walk. So a man on base for the Eagles, and their first walk as they'll have a runner on. Still scoreless, top of the third. We are slated for 7 in the first game of this 3-game series. 2 games tomorrow, of course, at Sportsman's Park.
I'm sure he wanted to get a hit, but nevertheless, he is on base, and you can't score unless you're on base, and that definitely does help. He is fast, so he may be able to steal a base as well.
Jason Fuentes, second in the order, the shortstop. He had a single and a stolen base. Pitch was low and outside, almost got away from Granger behind the plate, able to scoop it up and keep Martinez at bay at first. Wright going to slow things down just a bit, kind of cradles the glove on his left hip as he waits for the pitch call he wants from Granger. This is his longest delay so far in this game.
Fuentes was out of the box.
Here comes the fastball, clips the outside corner for the strike. Count now 1-1.
See, he can use that outside corner on a righty, but he can't do that on a lefty. So
Again,
we've noticed that.
Only 7 runs scored last time between these two teams in the opener in the series in Hobbs. And then, of course, Carlsbad came back and won 2 home games. Throw to first, little delay on the throw. Gets over to Hernandez, but sliding back in time is Martinez for the Eagles. Keeping things going on the bases. No outs here for Hobbs. Waggling the bat behind his right ear is Fuentes. Wright took a quick look over at first, moved his whole head over there. Now showing bunt. Pitch comes a little high. No, late strike call. Fist comes up in the air after the catcher turns around and looks at the umpire, Granger, and says, what are you calling here? And then we saw the big pump fist. And now Coach Boyle is wanting to know why the delay on that one. And he's going to take a walk back towards the third baseline, looks at the field umpire there. And I'm not sure if he's happy what he just heard.
I don't know either, but it was also called a strike. I mean, he had his bat at level where it was a bunt position. I'm not sure if the ump saw that, and that's the reason why. The only reason why he even called it was simply because the catcher called it. Granger called it and said, look, he already had a bunt going.
1-2 pitch off the end of the bat. Going to go out left. Shallow going to take a roll for Fuentes. That'll be a single. Runners at first and second now. Second hit for Fuentes. He's 2 for 2 at the plate. And the Eagles have no outs, so definitely things looking good here to get their first run of the game as Jaden Hernandez will step up. He had a walk back in the first inning, the only walk in the game given up to the Eagles, so he's definitely tasting a chance to take a lead here. Does have those 8 RBIs this season, batting .296, so one of the higher batting averages for the Eagles. .260 as a team heading into this series.
Yeah, third hit of the game, 2 on though with no outs. That helps.
Fastball outside, and chasing it off to the right is Hernandez. And again, that was getting very close to being a wild pitch, which would have loaded the bases, or not load the bases, but runners would have got to second and third.
Absolutely, and Hobbs is definitely wanting to make the most of this one. They know they're not going to get these opportunities.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch, fastball off the middle of the back, and a sail towards right field. Back about half the way back, and making the catch on the back pedal is Collins. He chucks it into the infield. Runner's going to stay at first on the flyout, and that'll be out number 1 for the Eagles, out to right field.
But Martinez does advance to third after that catch.
Tag and go there for Martinez. So runners at first and third, 1 down. The lefty comes in, Xavier Alvarado, who has a strikeout back in the first inning. And again, Alvarado, the team leader in RBIs with 27. Double that of his closest teammate, which is Montez with 13 RBI, so more than double actually. Back to live action as Wright looks over to first. Here's the windup. No, he's going to throw to first and almost got him. Back at first as he throws a hard shot over to his baseman, Hernandez, and barely diving to get back in time was Fuentes. Boy, sigh of relief for Coach Boyle on that one.
Exactly, but Alvarado, of course, would like to get a couple more RBIs. If you get a triple, that would clear the bases.
Fastball down the middle, and jumping back was Alvarado, but the ball went kind of low, and you don't jump back on a lower pitch, but they're going to say it clipped the bottom of the strike zone for strike 1.
Well, he did that one on the last call, which was strike out.
0-1 count. Another throw to first. The runner's going to take off to second, a stolen base attempt, and the throw is there in time, but it looks like dropping the ball was Molinar, and that's enough time as he tried to scoop and take a swipe at the runner. Came up underneath the runner and was not able to get the tap, and then the ball came out anyway, which will score Martinez. So the Eagles take the lead, and that's thanks to a delay over there at second. And now the runner getting to stay at second as well is Fuentes. So definitely some things going in the Eagles' advantage here with a 1-0 game, and now Alvarado still at the plate. Runner at second for Hobbs. That is Fuentes. Curveball inside, putting on a new belt there for Alvarado. Gets past Granger. He's got to chase it behind the home plate towards the backstop, and that will advance Fuentes. So the Eagles are knocking to the door, trying to add on to a 1-0 lead, and a runner at third in Fuentes.
Well, this stoic Carlsbad team doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. So far, they've made a couple of them right now in this third inning. So Hobbs definitely taking advantage of it, and Now they have a runner at third scoring position once again. 1-0 is the score, and they only have one out.
Hernandez, the first baseman, Quintella, the second. I'll go over and talk to their pitcher, Hazen Wright, try to settle things down just a bit. Count is 1-1 as Alvarado's starting to build a house there at home plate. He's got that runner at third, as you mentioned, Fuentes, and a 1-0 Eagle lead here in the top of the third, one out. Fastball, swing and a miss. Some hard shot stuff there from Alvarado. Here it clipped the glove pretty hard there for Granger, the catcher. 1-2 count now off the strike. As Eagles definitely doesn't want to keep this ball in play, but keep it out of the infield too if possible. Don't want to get any runners picked off here. Fastball outside, and that's going to make Alvarado try to lunge a bat across the plate. Can't get contact. He's going to strike out for the second time, and the 6th K issued against the Eagles here as we're in the third inning and now 2 down.
Yeah, and Hobbs, Alvarado definitely is struggling on the plate against Wright. Needs to fix that, of course. Not at the moment. It'll be Cole Kessner.
Cole Kessner, the DH, struck out for the last out of the first inning. Throws a fastball outside for ball 1. Again, he tends to pitch those outside pitches to get things going for each of these batters for the Eagles so far. Hobbs still got the third base runner waiting to get in. That's Fuentes. But has to be careful with those 2 outs. Fastball, this is heading out to right center. Should drop, and it does. It's going to take a roll to the warning track and the wall. That's a double, making an RBI double. As the run will come across the lead, 2-0 for the Eagles off the double by Kessner. That's why you're a DH. Put it in the place you need to. Place it between right and center and make some outfielders go after it.
Exactly. He already had a home run, but now he's got 6 doubles for the season. So way to go, Cole Kessner, as he gets that RBI as well.
That's the 12th RBI for him. Double digits in that category as well. That puts him now into tie for 4th on the team. And a 2-0 Hobbs Eagle lead with 2 down. As Eagles now bring in Gonzalez, who ground out to second back in the second inning. Runner at second. Fastball high, swing and a miss for Gonzalez. Again, these two teams always play some tough contests. Insurance runs are very critical. 2-0 lead means nothing with these two squads.
Right.
It's good, but it's not what you might end up with.
It's a nice start, but don't think you're going to live there forever, because Carlsbad's definitely going to come back and be able to hit some hits and possibly some runs as well.
Fastball outside for ball 1. Wright takes a peek back at second to the runner for the Eagles. Fastball outside again for ball 2. 2-1 count now for Bernardo Gonzalez. He is 6th in the order. Montez, Armendariz, and Camacho hoping to get a chance to swing bats here in the third inning, but there are 2 outs on the board with a 2-0 lead. Wright again is slowing down his pitch durations here. Curve inside, check swing, and to go out to right center. This got a lot more air to have a chance for a catch, and moving over from right field is Collins and makes it across his body for out number 3. So the fly out for Gonzalez. The Hobbs Eagles do manage to get 2 hits. They leave 1 on base, 2 runs score. We go to the bottom of the third. Your Eagles up 2-0 over Carlsbad. Back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
All right, welcome back to action here as Carlsbad is taking on your Hobbs Eagles. And so far, Hobbs has grabbed the lead with a couple of runs. A couple of errors from Carlsbad has made it 2-0, bottom of the third. And with the call, here is your friend, my friend. It is Ty Friend.
Your Hobbs Eagles got 4 hits so far, 2 walks. Were struck out 6 times and had 4 left on base. They do have that 2-0 lead. Carlsbad has not got through their lineup yet here in the third inning now. 8th in the order, Garrett Fuentes, the center fielder. And here comes Canyon Johnson with a fastball. Barely missing the bottom part of the strike zone for ball 1. Again, we mentioned him coming in with a 3-1 record. 8th game of the year for him and a 6.07 ERA. Curveball inside. very late contact with the ball. I'm not sure even how it hit the handle, but somehow able to get a touch on it was Fuentes. Sails over to the Hobbs Eagle dugout for the foul.
Yeah, 2 flyouts for Fuentes during that Roswell game. He also had a strikeout in the first, and he also was hit by a pitch.
Curveball giving him a little shave there to Fuentes as he tries to move his head backward and gets the ball. Count goes to 2-1. Molinar due up next, 9th in the order for the Cavemen. Quick reload for Johnson. Fastball staying low again after like his first pitch. Now 3-1 as getting ahead of the count is Fuentes. Still 2-0 Eagles, bottom of the third. Curveball right in the middle of the back, hit by a pitch. It happened before, almost had a third time, or second time earlier. That was number 2 there as Fuentes tried to get away from it. And he is hurt bad as he looks like he maybe hit his arm or something too, because he's got his arm between his legs right now and trying to take off some of his, I don't know what the heck he's doing over there. He's flinching that left arm, and it looks like he might have maybe had his arm underneath his elbow, underneath his legs when he got hit in the back trying to spin from it. Might have actually hit him in the elbow, too, before it hit the back.
I think it did, actually, because that would be the only reason why he'd be grabbing his elbow and making sure it's okay. Looks like he's fine now, but he has been hit in the past.
They're going to throw it back to first, and add insult to injury, not going to make him slide back in. He had to go face first. I'm kind of surprised they're not taking him out for somebody to take his position out there, run around the bases. Fastball off the handle, going to go towards the Hobbs Eagle dugout. Keeps it on the ground, foul for Molinar. He's last in the order. Jonas Molinar, the shortstop. And you can just still see out there as Fuentes keeping that arm kind of across his chest when he tries to run, because he took a shot with the ball, I believe, and you know how that feels on that funny bone area there or near the elbow.
And it just, you never know when it's going to flare up again, especially near that elbow, like you said, and just tingles so much in your hand.
Johnson keeps continuing to throw to first, too, to mess with him as getting it to Alvarado, but he's back in time is Fuentes. Pitches outside, the stolen base attempt. They throw it to second from behind the plate. Hernandez connects to second to Montez with the slide in time. The stolen base by Fuentes. So even though he had that elbow hit with the ball, he's able to run to the base he needed to. And now no outs for the Eagles. They've got a 1-1 count now with Molinar and Canyon Johnson at the mound for the Eagles. Top of the order will be starting up here in a minute for Carlsbad. They have yet to get a hit in this ball game. Have been hit by a pitch a couple of times. Fastball low for ball 2. 2-1 count now to Molinar. And still a 2-0 Hobbs Eagle lead here in the bottom of the third. Here's the windup and the throw for Johnson. Fastball, dribbler, and it's going to barely go foul off the third baseline. Chasing it down anyway for the Eagles, Gonzalez, but he knew that had no chance to stay in.
Exactly, and that could have possibly been a double play, but at the very least could have been an out at first, but nevertheless, 2-2 is the count.
Yeah, that runner's got to be smart there at second. Fuentes. Big leadoff again for him. Canyon Johnson looks at him. Curveball at the end of the bat. Going to drop it into right shallow. Make it right center. That could be an RBI. It is. They're going to try to relay it in. And they get it back to second in the air. Oh, no, actually, Johnson comes to get it behind the pitching mound. But they get the run to score. That'll be a single, RBI single for Molinar. And will score Fuentes to make it 2-1.
So, yeah, we knew that Carlsbad would answer. We just wanted to know exactly how long it would take. Not very long is the answer.
And that's the first hit of the ball game for an RBI for Molinar. He's going to say, Coach, don't put me at the bottom of the order anymore. Eloy Lopez at the top of the order. Ground out to Johnson in the first inning. Curveball inside. He gets a handle on it. That's going to get some air, but it's going to go foul quickly towards the left fence on the Eagles' dugout side. Definitely don't want to see that straighten out on that third baseline. That's kind of a heads up to Armendariz, the left fielder, and Gonzalez at third for Hobbs.
Right.
0-1 count now to Lopez. Runner at first is Fuentes. Fastball. This is going to go out towards center. It might drop short, and it does. It takes a one-hopper. Putting on the brakes was Camacho, and that will be a single now for Lopez. Back-to-back hits for the Cavemen, so they're starting to get some juice on their offense.
Exactly. Just hit that in the gap. It was right shallow center, and like you said, just was not able to get to it was Fuentes. Not Fuentes, but the infielder.
All the hits coming in the third inning now for Carlsbad. The two singles, Molinar and Lopez. Delmonico Granger now, the catcher, flew out to left back in the first inning. And still a 2-0 ball game. Runners at first and second for Carlsbad. They trail the Eagles. Showing bunt. Fastball outside for Johnson. Barely clips for the strike. And Granger pulled out of the bunt attempt there. Carlsbad fans thought that was a little outside, but they get the strike call regardless. Jerry from Carlsbad Radio, not a happy camper on that pitch.
I'm also surprised because Granger, I thought, was a heavy hitter, but he's up there trying to bunt to advance the runners.
That pitch looked like it floated into the strike zone off the fastball. Showing bunt again was Granger. Called it, I guess, low on that one. That's going to be a 1-1 pitch count now with runners at first and second. Johnson chewing some heavy-duty gum now. Curveball inside is going to brush back Granger. No chance to get contact off the bunt look there. Count goes to 2-1. You can see that jaw moving pretty vigorously there for Johnson on the mound as he goes behind the mound and takes a peek at the runners and tries to make sure they know he's still around here if he needs to throw the ball to the bases.
Yeah, lead is down to 1, but there's no outs, and that's part of the problem right there. It needs to get a double or a triple play.
Fastball, little high for the ball. 3-1 count now, so getting ahead is Granger, second in the order. Fabian Hernandez coming in the third slot next with no down, which is the worst part of all this. Runners at first and second. Johnson going to slow down just a bit and not chewing as vigorously now. He throws the fastball, swing and a miss for Granger. Should mention, too, Johnson working on his first strikeout of the ball game. It is a full count situation now to Domonico Granger. Runners taking some good leadoffs at both first and second. Here comes Johnson, fastball off the handle. It's going to go towards the Carlsbad dugout. Trying to chase it over there was Alvarado, but he saw a bunch of Carlsbad guys hanging over the dugout wall there, and they're kind of leaning their heads forward and kind of giving him not a good depth perception to see where that ball was coming, and it goes out and behind the or in front of the dugout, but behind that little wall in front, so he doesn't try to jump over the top of him for a catch there.
Exactly. It was just behind the players.
Full count now for Johnson's pitching. Curve inside. Late swing off the handle. It goes to the Hobbs Eagle dugout. So we see some switch hitting for Granger, kind of going back and forth, pinball style, both sides of the field.
Sure, equal opportunity hitter right there. So just wanting to see if he can get it in play. Of course, he's got 2 on, no outs. He's got plenty of opportunities to get an RBI as well as advance to get to first.
Eagles holding on to a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the third. Here's the full count pitch again. Fastball, cracked out over the shortstop, over the top of Fuentes into left center. It'll take a roll. Chasing it down is Camacho from center. That will score a run on the RBI double. They try to relay the ball into second, but not in time. So Granger picks up the double and scores a run and bringing it across. That will be Molinar, and it's a 2-2 ball game, Ron.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it just went right over the head of Fuentes. If he would have been able to jump a little higher, would have been able to catch that one, but instead it happens to go out to left field.
Looks like they get a pinch runner in there for the Carlsbad Cavemen. That's Hunter Dowdy seeing his first action. Yep. He's one of the 4 seniors on the squad for the Cavemen. Timeout called. Coach Bowman, pitching coach for the Eagles, has his infield talking on the mound. We'll take a 30-second break. Tied up at 2 here in Carlsbad. Bottom of the third. Back in 30.
We're back to action as no change for the pitcher, but we're going to continue to see we get out of this inning with no outs. And here's the call with Ty Friend.
All 3 of the Carlsbad hits have come here in the third inning. They were hit by a pitch a couple of times earlier, so they've been on base 5 times. Scored 2 in this inning with no outs on the board, which is the worst part. Runners at second and third. Going to bring in Fabian Hernandez, who flew to right for the last out of the first inning. Curveball to him off the end of the bat, going to go foul over the Carlsbad dugout, and not liking to see all the contact we're seeing with Carlsbad in this third inning, Ron.
Exactly, but, I expected that in the first 2 as well, so we got kind of lucky in a way, but we're paying the price for it now as it's coming back to haunt us.
No balls and a strike. Here comes Johnson. Curveball, a little bit inside for ball 1, evens up the count at 1-1. Hernandez third in the order. Aiden Quintella was hit by a pitch. He's the cleanup man due up next. Definitely will be up to the plate as there's no outs on the board yet for the Eagles here. Wind up with the throw for Johnson. Fastball at the end of the bat. A roller right to second. Picked up by Montez. Fires it home on the fielder's choice. They don't get the tag. And the throw is over the back of Martinez, who slides into home. And he will score the run.
Yeah, unfortunately, that did get to the right spot. But unfortunately, it was off to the right. It needed to be more to the left so that way he would be able to tag the runner in time. And by the time he was able to swing it over there, the runner had already gotten on to the home plate.
Eloy Lopez, the scorer there. The DH gets across the home plate, as you mentioned, and we got a 3-2 ball game now. All 3 of the Carlsbad hits and runs have come here in the third inning. Hobbs down by 1 run now. No outs. Runner at first and third. Johnson on the mound for the Eagles. Looks at first to check the first runner. And sliding right is Hernandez. The fastball a little high for ball one. You can definitely see that Hernandez wants to throw somebody out on the bases here to get that first out. Got to remember, too, the sun is out pretty heavily, so that's going to be some issues in the infield, especially for the Eagles. That might have been the reason why that one went through short. Fastball goes low. Going to get through Hernandez's legs behind the home plate. That will score a run on the wild pitch as coming across is Fuentes, and things are starting to unravel for the Hobbs Eagle D.
Exactly. Just when you thought they might be able to redeem themselves and get out of this inning, they haven't been able to get any outs yet, and that doesn't help them. And they're definitely struggling against those fielding choices. That one especially with that wild pitch.
All 6 of the runs have been scored combined with the two teams here in the third inning. 4-2 now. Carlsbad by 2 with no outs. Runner at second. 2-0 count. Fastball down the third baseline. A slammer. It's going to keep rolling to the corner of the field. Deep in the left corner. That's going to be a double. They're going to hold him up there at second. That will score a run. RBI double for Carlsbad as Quintella picks up the RBI, and that will send the run home for Delmonico Granger. And boy, it's the domino effect against the Eagles at this point. That's the 4th hit for the Cavemen here in the third.
Well, I mean, that's actually kind of a good sign simply because if that wild pitch hadn't happened, they would have scored that run anyway. So it would have been regardless on that fact. However, it does hurt when it happens in a certain way. That one didn't help at all, and definitely Hobbs going to be licking their wounds trying to get out of this inning.
Coach Boyle staying in the dugout at this point, not ready to make a change yet. Fastball comes outside for ball one. Still a runner at second for Carlsbad after the 1 RBI double for Aiden Quintella. Gus Risher at the plate, the left fielder. He flew to right back in the second inning. Curveball inside for ball 2. As he takes a look back over to the sideline, over to the third base coach, which is the head coach, Coach Magaha. First-year coach for Carlsbad, 4 state championships up in Farmington. Quick couple looks back at second for the Eagles pitcher Canyon Johnson. Throws a fastball outside. A time called is going up to talk to his pitcher now is Hernandez, and just wants to get him settled down a little bit more. They had a meeting of the infielders a few minutes ago with pitching coach for the Eagles, and now they're going to have just a one-on-one situation on the mound. Not sure if they got any work going on in the bullpen. Don't see anybody yet. Nope. Yep, there is some action there, but that's well behind the dugout there. We can't see over the top to see who might be warming up at this point.
I think Johnson lost the handle on that last pitch and just wants to make sure that they're on the same page because, this they are losing it so far.
3-0 count now. Big lead for Risher at the plate. Pitch coming a fastball, and that's going to go right inside and get that inside corner for the strike. Last time he had that situation, remember that was a wild pitch, and that caused some issues in the scoring run for Carlsbad. Here's the 3-1 coming now from Johnson, looking back at second. Curveball inside. This goes a hard shot to third, fielded by Gonzalez. Fires it across the field and contact over to his first baseman, Alvarado, coming off a 5-3 ground out, and that will finally be out number 1. So the runner does get to third. And that is Hernandez now. He's knocking at the door again for the Cavemen. But there's one down. He's the only guy on base so far. Hazen Wright, the pitcher, comes on. He ground out to second back in the second inning. It is 5-2 your score as a runner did come across on that last play. Let's see who that was. That was, looks like Hernandez scored.
It's still 5-2. Nobody came across on that last one.
Here comes the fastball low. That's going to get through the second and third gap out to left field. It'll be an RBI single for Hazen Wright, the pitcher. So another one comes across for Carlsbad. And it takes a long time to get the relay in. Do they get the tag out at second?
Yes, they did.
I was wondering why we were having a delay, but it was because the throw had not come in. No, they're going to keep him at second.
Oh, I thought he punched him out. No, he did punch him out.
Oh, late fist out there, so that will be probably got a little greedy on that one. I should have just been a single, but he tried to stretch it out, but he saw that out in the left field there, the hold on the ball for a while, Armendariz, and I was kind of wondering maybe they're just challenging him to go to second, but he got thrown out, so definitely a good stop there. Yeah. But now it is 6-2 as a score coming across was Quintella.
And it looked like a little bit lackadaisical. Maybe that's the reason why he tried to advance to second, but Johnson flipped it over to second and was able to get that out.
Fastball comes down the middle for the strike as Kenyon Johnson facing Tanner Collins, the right fielder. He flew to center for the last out of the second inning, but a 4-run lead for Carlsbad with 2 down. Here comes the windup on the throw. Curveball almost gets the back, goes around, kind of a boomerang effect behind Collins. He just stood right there, did not hit him, but it came close. Count to 2-1.
It went right over his head. It had no action at all, no movement whatsoever.
Comes back with a fastball down the pike, little low for ball 3. 3-1 count now to Collins, who's 7th in the order. Fuentes and Molinar stepping in at 8th and 9th, but they got 2 outs to look at first. Here comes the 3-1 pitch, curve, check swing. They're going to send him on a strike. He turned his arm and his wrist broke the plane there. That pitch would have been probably a ball call, but he turned that bat around, and I guess the umpire got him on that because it didn't look like it was in the strike zone.
Right, he did try to check his swing, just wasn't able to, and it was called a strike.
Here's the full count pitch, fastball at the middle of the bat, out to right center. It's going to go over the shoulder of Martinez, and he'll take a roll. That's going to be at least a double. He's going to throw a long one into second, gets there, but it's too late. Double for Tanner Collins. So lots of hits being converted for Carlsbad. In fact, all 6 of their hits coming in this 3rd inning. This taking a lot of time to try to get this one out of here.
Exactly, if you're going to have a successful inning, this is going to be it for Carlsbad. Hopefully Hobbs can be able to seal it back again after this, but they haven't gotten out of it yet.
Garrett Fuentes, 8th in the order. He's up next for the Cavemen. Got hit by a pitch, stolen base, and a run scored. 6-2 your score. 4-run lead for Carlsbad. Hobbs was up 2-0 in this 3rd inning before Carlsbad got a chance to get to the plate. Johnson going to fire a curveball inside. And this is going to high shot in foul territory towards the Hobbs Eagles side left. And it will be caught right at the side fence. Nice job of getting out there on the wheels. Gonzalez to make the catch. And finally, the Hobbs Eagles are shutting it down, but not after some big-time hitting for the Carlsbad Cavemen. They get 6 hits. They score all 6 of their runs here in the bottom of the 3rd, and they leave 1 on base. We'll go to the top of the 4th. The Eagles have to dig out of a hole now, trail 6-2 to the home Cavemen, back in 30 seconds.
All right, coming back, and we are having a different game. It used to be 0-0, but Hobbs able to get 2 in the top of the 3rd. Carlsbad in the bottom gets a big lead, and now with the call, here is Ty Friends.
6-2 the score. 6 hits for Carlsbad, all coming in that bottom of the 3rd, all 6 of their runs. A 4-run lead, and now the Eagles trying to get some offense to get back in this thing. First pitch coming from Hazen Wright. Fastball clips the outside corner against Christian Montez for the strike. Montez had a single back in the 2nd and a stolen base. Next pitch coming quickly, fastball down the middle for the strike, and Montez was waiting on that one. Now he's going to face an 0-2 count. Trying to see where Coach Boyle is. He's near the dugout right now, getting out of the peripheral vision of his batter. Fastball low and outside for ball 1, count to 1-2. Montez 7th in the order. Armendariz and Camacho at 8 and 9. Eagles have gotten a total of 4 hits so far in this game. Double singles for Fuentes. Here's the 1-2 from Wright. Fastball. Woo, barely outside. He kind of kicked his foot up after he saw the ball call there, and he thought maybe he was going to ring up Montez, but not according to the blue shirt behind the plate.
I know, he's already had enough, but Wright still finding his groove over there to the right.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball high. He went a little bit higher up that time, and Montez followed it up there and couldn't get up on the ladder to make the contact for the strikeout. That's the 7th K of the ball game against the Hobbs Eagle batters. Saul Armendariz checks in. He struck out back in the 2nd. Hobbs has struck out 7 times in this contest, but they need a hit. They need one now. We mentioned 2 of the Eagles' hits coming from the hands of Fuentes, a single from Montez and a double from Kestner. Fastball gets down the middle for the strike as he held on that one, did Armendariz. Again, 6-2, top of the fourth. We are slated for 7. Comes back with a fastball again. Same spot, a little bit towards the outside, but clipping the corner for the strike 2, 0-2 count to Armendariz. Eagles can't get themselves an offensive lull here. Got too much work to do to get back in this one. Go outside this time, well to the right of the plate for the ball. To 1-2 count.
Yeah, and definitely want to make sure that they get one step at a time. First thing that you have to do is get a hit right, is not allowing them to get too many of those.
Goes back again with a fastball low and outside for ball 2. Evens up the counts. Armendariz been watching a couple of pitches here, and a good job of doing that. Juan Camacho ninth in the order. That would go through the order twice for the Eagles. Hopefully he gets that opportunity. He will with just one out. Curveball inside, late swing, and that's going to take a chop and bounce into the left backstop behind him for the foul. So staying alive at the plate with contact is Armendariz. Little breather now on the mound for Hazen Wright. Here comes the windup and the throw. Curveball high for ball 3. A full count now as Armendariz is trying to fight off the starter Hazen Wright. Eagles need base runners, as this game is the first of the 3 set. 2 tomorrow in Hobbs. Full count pitch, fastball, swing and a miss. That'll strike out Armendariz for the second time, and 8th in the ball game. And when Wright gets that pitch going hard, he's definitely taking down some batters with him.
Exactly, and he is making it look fairly easy for the 6'3", 200-pound player.
Bottom of the order for the Eagles will be Juan Camacho. He struck out for the last out of the second inning. Takes the first pitch, a fastball outside for ball 1. A bunch of those pitches are outside to get every batter going for the Eagles, and always doing a good job of watching those pitches. So hopefully that continues into some contact. 2 outs for Hobbs here in the top of the 4th. Fastball barely gets the outside corner for the strike and a 1-1 count.
Now that's the unfamiliar area of it all, where they're used to that being a ball call. Now it's called a strike.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball again, same spot, outside corner for the strike. Down to 1-2 now. Eagles definitely don't want to go down with 3 Ks in a row here in this 4th inning.
No, they do not. They want to try at least get something going offensively.
Wright's going to lose the control of his fastball, sails to the backstop, about 15 feet away on the right side, and that's going to get Granger to have to come out from behind the crouch there and jog up the first baseline just to get that. It kind of hit hard against the backstop and then rolled back into the foul territory on the right of the plate. And Ugly, he just lost that one halfway through his pitch. Here comes the 2-2 now. Fastball, swing and a miss, and strike 3. Hobbs with 3 Ks in a row in that 4th inning. So no hits, nobody on the bases, no runs come across. Carlsbad holding on to a 6-2 lead, but they got their bats coming up here in just a minute. HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page.
Welcome back to Hobbs Baseball, as we are still in this, but just barely, with a lead of 6-2 for Carlsbad. And, of course, it is still Johnson on the mound. And with the call, here is Ty Friend.
All 6 of the Carlsbad hits came in the 3rd inning, so they definitely want to try to duplicate that. Let's try to duplicate that here. Jonas Molinar, 9th in the order. He's the 2nd time around. So they're going to be wrapping up their batting order for 2 times now. Curveball coming inside for Johnson for the ball. He did have an RBI single back in the 2nd inning, scored a run for the Cavemen. We got all 6 of those runs we mentioned in the 3rd. Johnson with a quick reload, fastball, low for ball 2.
Johnson working on his 62nd pitch. Man, it's spreading a little bit, but yeah, he's still on it, but may not be for long.
Here comes a 2-0 fastball, and that gets a little low of the strike zone for ball 3. Lopez, top of the order, due up next. He got a single and a RBI double for Granger in that 2nd slot. 3 balls and no strikes. Fastball comes way inside. That'll be a walk on the ball to Molinar. That is the first walk issued by Canyon Johnson, but he's trying to get his first K of the game as well. Again, he'd probably like to close the book on that 3rd inning, but now it's Coach Boyle heading out to the mound, which is not a good sign in terms of Johnson staying in. Usually Bowman will be out there as the pitching coach, but when the head coach comes out, might be a change.
Yeah, I think there will be, simply because, it just wanted to see what he would do with the first couple of pitches. Walked all 3 or 4 of them, or at least got all balls on all 4 of them, could not control it. So he is out, and it looks like it's going to be.
Yeah, it's checking in for the Eagles. Nick Gonzalez is the pitcher, the senior. Of course, he was on the bases a few minutes ago as a pinch runner, but getting his opportunity to throw the first pitch for him on the mound. We'll take a break. 6-2 Carlsbad, bottom of the 4th inning. Hobbs on defense, new pitcher next.
All right, welcome back to action as Nicholas Gonzalez is still warming up. He's got 3 saves on the season. He's 1-2 with a 3.17 average, and he's been on plate for 28.2 times. So we're going to see if he can get this thing going and get Hobbs back in the right direction. And with the right direction, by the way, here is the call from Ty Friend.
Gonzalez, his 13th game of the season, getting a chance to pitch once again for the Eagles. And the numbers on the starter, Canyon Johnson, he gave up a total of 6 hits, and all those coming for Carlsbad. That was in the 3rd inning that we saw those. 1 walk, no strikeouts, and definitely we saw him start off pretty tough, and of course, Eagles were up 2-0 in the game, but in that 3rd inning. But of course, all the 6 runs and hits coming in the bottom of the 3rd, and that kind of deflated the balloon just a bit for Mr. Johnson. Exactly. So that will be Nick Gonzalez's turn to step up and take control of business here as he's on the mound in relief. Up for Carlsbad, they go to the top of the order. Eloy Lopez, he's 1 for 2, single, run scored after that. Also ground out to the pitcher to start the game for the Cavemen, their 3rd time in the order. Bottom of the 4th, 6-2, blue and white in the lead.
As they almost always are here at Carlsbad.
First fastball clips the outside corner for the strike.
In fact, they've had 10 blowouts this season. That is a lot for a good team, and they're very hard to beat, but Gonzalez has had 20 strikeouts so far this season. Looks to expand that number.
Runner at first, Jonas Molinar. Fastball down the middle, go low for ball 1. Evens up the count at 1-1. Granger, Hernandez, and Quintella, 2 through 4 in the order for the Cavemen with no outs, and they lead by 4. More than halfway through this 7-inning game. Curveball inside, a good whack is going to go towards the left corner of the outfield, towards the home run post. Foul post out there, and it goes left of it, so they got the foul on that one, barely missing a home run there. That would have been about 2 runs, 2 RBI homer there for Lopez, and I think Mr. Gonzalez is happy that he's going to get a chance to pitch against this batter one more time.
Exactly. First we thought it was going to be in the gap, but instead it does go foul. And it does hit the wall, so it would have been close to a home run, but no cigar.
1-2 count now as Gonzalez continues to face top of the order Lopez. Takes a peek at first to check the runner, Molinar, and now decides to throw behind the bag. A nice little swipe action there for the Eagles. That was Alvarado, but runner back in time. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Granger, who's up next, had an RBI double earlier in the 3rd inning. Curveball inside. This time it is going in the gap on the ground between 2nd and 3rd. Rolls out to left field. Scooped up by Armendariz. Runner advances to 3rd and 2nd. And both in time. So I'll go ahead and give a single on that and extend it to a double after all the relays and throws coming in. Back-to-back singles for Lopez. It brings up Delmonico Granger back in the 3rd inning, the big inning for Carlsbad. He had that RBI double. A run scored. Flew to left as well. He's 1 of 2 at the plate. But on third now, they've got a runner. No outs for the Cavemen, and runners at second and third with a 6-2 lead.
And this is what we feared about from Carlsbad. They know how to generate hits as well as runs. And you already got 6, so they could answer with more with no outs so far.
The windup and the throw, a little change-up action inside for the ball. Up by the neck high there on the pitch from Nick Gonzalez. 2 games tomorrow at Sportsman's Park to wrap up the regular season. 4:15 pregame, 4:30 start on game 2 of the series, and then the other one after that. Curveball inside, again out to left. This will roll up the third base line. Going to be an RBI double, or make an RBI, 2 RBI single. And they'll get 2 runs to come across off Granger's big-time hit there, as he's going to score Molinar and Lopez. So things are starting to unravel, the snowball effect here for the Eagles, who now trail 8-2. After leading 2-0 in the top of the third. Now we're in the bottom of the fourth.
Yep, a 6-run differential. And, that's already, it's already bad enough when you had 2, but 6 is going to be definitely difficult to overcome for the next, 3 innings.
Eagles have yet to get a strikeout in this game against the Carlsbad offense. Curveball inside, and guess where that's going in? Left field on the ground will be a single. No runs will come on this one. But right now, Carlsbad with 3 singles in a row here in this bottom of the fourth. And now runners at first and second. The cleanup man who you don't want to come up in this position against the Hobbs Eagle defense, Aiden Quintella. He has an RBI double, a run scored, was hit by a pitch, and a stolen base. But you're not in that fourth spot for no reason. They're the type of guy that's going to try to get some runs scored here with what your bat's going to do.
Exactly, but right now, Carlsbad bats are owning the pitching staff of the Hobbs Eagles, and they want to get that back righted.
Here's the curveball, float down the middle of the plate for the strike. Good pitch there from Gonzalez. Quintella, the cleanup man. Risher due in next. He's 0 for 2 so far.
Got some bad news for you. As an update from Clovis Roswell. Clovis wins that one easily, 10-0.
Another curve floater, this one high for the ball. Again, if Clovis wins 3 games of their series this week and Hobbs loses 3, that would put Clovis into that third or second spot in district and Hobbs to third. Eagles definitely need to get at least 1 win in the series. Here's the 1-1 pitch, fastball off the end of the bat, shallow right. Should be enough time for Martinez, and it gets over his head and going to roll to the wall in right field. That's going to score 1 run. Probably 2 runs, and they're sending the third runner to third to hold. 2 runs do come across. So go ahead and give that a single. Pretty good shot there. I don't know, it was misjudged. There's some definitely sun issues out there. But coming across the plate, Granger and Hernandez scoring for this Carlsbad team is starting to rout this one 10-2 here in the bottom of the fourth.
And I hate to say this, but the mercy rule is about to take effect. If the winning run is at plate, if he's able to score, it'll be a 10-run game, and Hobbs will have to answer back in the 5th if they want to continue this one. Otherwise, it could end after 5.
No outs on the board still, which is the worst part here. Curveball inside, and waiting on it was Risher. Kind of swished his elbow around and gets up to get the ball call on that one. Risher 0 for 2. Flew to right center and ground to third. First at bats, he's 0 for 2. He does have a runner at third now in scoring position. Gonzalez with the fastball outside and low for ball 1.
And by the way, that game was played in Clovis, so Clovis had the advantage there. Roswell will have a bit of advantage when they get back to Roswell tomorrow afternoon.
6 runs in the third, 4 in the fourth for Carlsbad here. Fastball low for the ball. Count to 2-0. And boy, it took a little second for that runner to get back to third. He's lucky he got back. Quintella, as he kind of slowly jogged it back to that third base. 2 balls and no strikes. Quick reload for Gonzalez. Fastball clips the bottom of the strike zone for the strike. Now 2-1. Hazen Wright, the pitcher, is going to be up next. He's 6th in the order and has the RBI single back in that monstrous third. Fastball, swing and a miss on a high pitch, and that'll be strike number 2 for Risher.
Looks like the count will be full, 3-2 to Risher.
Eagles come in with that number 12th rank in the Max Preps poll. Curveball is going to be well inside, and that's going to be a walk to Risher, their second walk of the ballgame. First given up by Nick Gonzalez. Again, Hobbs at number 12 in the Max Preps. Carlsbad at number 8, but Hobbs has a better strength of schedule, 10.7 compared to 10.6 for Carlsbad. But again, that's only one factor when it comes to the playoffs. The Eagles would like to finish up at least 1 or 2 wins in this final series, and they're going to get a chance to do that tomorrow with the 2 games at Sportsman's Park.
Exactly, want to try to at least make this a game. They're going to have to really get back on their bats if they can to on the top of the 5th.
Hazen Wright, 1 of 2 at the plate with that RBI single. Fastball, drops low, the sinker at the last second, and the ball call there.
Got more bad news for you from an update for the JV. 17-12 is what, or 17-2 is what they lost to by Carlsbad.
Curveball, and having to duck down with his face towards the plate, bending over forward was right. He didn't want to get hit in the helmet by that one. So he had to kind of hunch over the top there and get down towards the plate to get away. 2-0 count now off the ball from Gonzalez. Fastball down the middle, hits it straight up in the air. It's going to kind of shift to third. Hopefully an easy shot for Gonzalez to pick up. Ball kind of fades around. He drops it. He was shifted over towards the pitching mound. And he's got a runner out because he able to throw it on the force out to second because you thought that was going to be a routine catch. The runner should have got to second, but he drops it at the last second, and they get the easy throw to second. So the fielder's choice there for the Eagles gets the out and gets the runner to go back out to the dugout. That's Quintella having to head home to his Carlsbad side of the field.
So the 6 of 1, 12 of a dozen, or dozen of one, and 6 of a half of one. Anyway, it worked out to where it was 1 out. I know I couldn't even make my own.
Don't mess up the cliches, please.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. That's how it goes. Yeah.
Woo. Runners at first and third. Curveball inside and spinning into the pitch. They're not going to call that hit by pitch. Tanner Collins trying to get the ump to bite on that one, and he washing machined his shoulder into the ball that time.
It looked like more hit the glove than it did anything else.
Ball on that pitch. 1 for 2 is Collins, a double and a fly to center. Fastball, swing and a miss. No, he gets a piece of it. It does go into the left corner. I thought that ball hit the glove. It's going to roll, and they're going to get some runs to come home here. That's going to be an RBI, 2 RBI double, it looks like, for Carlsbad.
And that's not what you wanted to see at the bottom of the fourth, as Carlsbad is just rolling on. In fact, they've got the 10 runs right now. They have a comfortable lead, and all they have to do now is just get through the 5th inning. And this game could be over with. But Hobbs still has one more opportunity to be able to get their bats going and get back into this game. It's just going to be a long, long road.
6 hits in the third, now 5 hits in the fourth. 12-2 the score. You mentioned just at the 10-run mercy rule. Doesn't come into effect to the next inning. Runners at just second now. Nick Gonzalez on the mound, the relief pitcher. Curveball clips the inside corner against Fuentes for the strike. He was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd inning. Got a stolen base and a run scored and flew to third in his second at bat. So he is 0 for 1 right now. Gonzalez looks back at second. Fastball down the middle and flopped over the top of the ball comes Fuentes. Lost his footing, kind of one-hopped it over the plate. And gets his second strike on an 0-2. Just still 1 out on the scoreboard for the Eagles. A lot of bleeding out on the field at this point.
And they're about to go to the top of the water again.
Fastball, gets it outside for the strike, and holding on it was Fuentes. He's kind of surprised at the call and just kind of shrugs his shoulders after that. In fact, that's the first K of the game issued for the Eagles at the pitch of Nick Gonzalez, and will sit down Fuentes. Bottom of the order now, Jonas Molinar. Started off the game in the third with an RBI single and a run, and then got a walk and scored a run later as well. So he's been around the bases twice so far in this game. 2 down for the Eagle defense. Curve it inside for the strike against Molinar from Nick Gonzalez. 2 outs, nobody on the bases, or make it second, on the base there for Carlsbad. Here's the windup and the throw. Fastball, swing and a miss for Molinar, and the count goes to 0-2. So right now, Gonzalez getting ahead of the pitch count. Definitely want to put this one out of here so he can get some offense back up on the field. Here comes the 0-2. Fastball, late swing off the end of the bat there for Molinar, and it sails out towards the Carlsbad dugout on the right side, and definitely wants to have that one back. Kind of just poked at it there. So keeps it at 0-2. Last of the order for the 3rd time is Molinar. Fastball, and that's going to sit him down on the swing. No contact. 2 Ks to finish up the bottom of the 4th. But some damage being done for the Carlsbad Cavemen in terms of their offense. They get 5 hits as they get a ton of runs that come across. In fact, 5 runs scoring for the Cavemen. They leave 1 on base, and we head to the top of the 5th. The last chance for the Eagles. They got to get this underneath 10 runs. It's 12-2 here in Carlsbad. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Well, folks, we are back to action, and it is going to get hot quickly. Hopefully, Hobbs, they need to warm up fast because they have that 10-rule mercy rule going on. We're at the top of the fifth. Carlsbad has scored 6 in the third, 6 in the fourth, and made it a 10-run difference. Josiah Martinez, it could be the savior for Hobbs as he starts off the batting. And with the call, here he is, Ty Friend.
11 hits for the Carlsbad Cavemen. Your Eagles have got 4, 2 singles for Fuentes, a double for Kestner, and a single for Montez. And that's going to get them an opportunity here to get things moving as we top of the order. Lefty Josiah Martinez, he is 0 for 1, struck out, did walk, and score a run for the Eagles.
And we got excited about the third inning with 2 runs, but we've been shut out since then.
Fastball coming down for Wright, misses outside corner for the ball call. Wright has been the starter in this one. Hobbs already with the relief, of course. That was Nick Gonzalez. Quickly back in the box goes Martinez. He's urgent to get a hit. Curveball inside, and he's going to foul it off around the left side of the Hobbs Eagle dugout. Count to 1-1. Fuentes, Hernandez, and Alvarado, 2, 3, 4. Of course, Fuentes with back-to-back singles definitely could spark the plug for the Eagles. Here comes a 1-1 from Wright. Fastball almost hits the shoe there of Martinez. It sails to the backstop and has to be chased down to the right by Granger, the catcher.
Yep, as once again, this could be the final inning for Hobbs if they aren't able to get at least 1 run. Of course, Carlsbad, the last 2 innings have been doing phenomenal jobs of getting runs.
2 balls on the strike. Curve it inside. Little flinch there by Martinez, and that's going to get the ump's attention, and they're going to call that a strike. Count to 2-2. Waggling the bat behind that left ear now is Martinez. He would like to be a base runner here. Fastball at the end of the bat. It's going to roll towards second. Shortstop behind it. Pulls it down. Throw to first is behind the bag. Molnar tried to get the throw. Chasing it all the way to second now for the Eagles, and getting on is Martinez.
And he's already in scoring position on second base with that error throw. So, yeah, definitely a good start for Hobbs. We need to continue that, though. We've had good starts. We just haven't been able to follow up on it.
Yep, go with an error on the throwing error in the infield by the shortstop Molnar that time. Does get Martinez on base. Now it's second. Jason Fuentes now 2 for 2 for the Eagles. A pair of singles, stolen base, and a run score. Definitely could use his help here. Takes the first curveball, gets off the glove of Granger. I think he took his eye off of it. Rolls to the backstop right side. That gives enough time for Martinez to get in scoring position, getting to third. And now with a 10-run deficit, exactly what you want to see to get it to at least 9. Now, you don't want to be down by that many, but it's still, it's going to put a little tourniquet on the game as we could get to 7 if need be.
Yeah, you start off 1 foot at a time. You don't see a whole lot of mistakes from Carlsbad. That's why you got to take advantage of those.
Fuentes back in the box now. He would like to get an RBI off of this. Fastball outside for ball 1. Hernandez and Alvarado, 3rd and 4th slots. Neither one of those guys have a hit yet, although Cole Kester in the 5th spot does have a double. He is the DH in this game. 2 balls and no strikes. Here comes Wright with the fastball. Barely clips that outside corner for the strike. Count to 2-1. No outs is the best part because Hobbs has that runner at third.
But that is Wright's bread and butter pitch right there.
2-1 count. Slowing it down just a bit now. Fastball low and outside. He goes there again. 3-1 now. Good eye for Fuentes. Trying to at least get on base. He definitely would like to help to chip away at this 10-run deficit we're talking about. Again, Mercy Roll kicks in the 5th inning, which we're at right now. The windup of the throw. Fastball high will walk Fuentes. And that is only the 3rd walk so far in this game picked up by the Eagles. That brings up 3rd in the order, Jaden Hernandez. He's 0 for 1, who flew to right and also did get on a walk back in the 1st inning to start off the game for him.
So yeah, there's a little bit of a meeting on the mound. But yeah, that would if he was able to get on, that would load up the bases. That would help the Hobbs cause completely or immensely. But he really just wants to get that 3rd runner, Martinez, in for the RBI, as well as a relief in scoring as far as less than 10.
I think Hazen Wright might have some problem with his right elbow. He was kind of getting some help from his second baseman looking at it. Quintellan kind of stretched it out. He does have a sleeve on that right arm. Fastball comes outside for ball 1. That makes Granger pop up. Did not want to get that by him. He has runners to deal with the Eagles 1st and 3rd. Make it 12-2 here in the top of the 5th. Again, if the Eagles can't get it beneath 10 in this inning, that would be game over. Fastball, check swing, a stolen base attempt to second. And it's going to be well short of that second base as running up towards the pitcher's mound to come down with it, just ready to throw somebody out home. That was the second baseman, Quintella. Good smart move on that one. They just kind of flopped the throw over the top of their pitcher's head from behind the home plate to see if that runner was going to bite at third, and no, he didn't. He stayed where he needed to for the Eagles. That
Smart
was
move.
Martinez. Curveball inside, fouled off on the right over the Carlsbad dugout. Will keep Hernandez alive at the plate. Count to 1-2. Definitely will need to get him on base here with a 12-2 deficit. Runners at second and third for the Eagles. No outs. Slow delay here now as we got Wright with the glove in front of his face. Still gets the pitch count he wants. And here's the 1-2. Fastball outside for ball 2. Count to 2-2. Again, you mentioned this earlier. He loves those outside low pitches. Just trying to make you lunge across the plate. Hernandez not going to be fooled that time.
Exactly. And Hernandez has been very smart. Almost 300 for batting average so far this season.
Next pitch coming. Fastball outside. And we got a full count now on the ball. Eagles getting a walk here would load the bases for the cleanup man. Not having a great game so far, though. Alvarado 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks, but he's due one, and this is a perfect opportunity to get back in this one.
Hernandez has 4 doubles and 1 triple, so he could get another one.
Fastball outside, and here we go. There's a walk. 2 picked up by Hernandez in this game, the 4th walk of the game for the Eagles. And bases loaded now for Xavier Alvarado. Again, 2 Ks he's been dealing with. That's going to be a timeout call as Carlsbad's going to have a discussion about the pitching here. Timeout on the field. There's going to be a courtesy runner for the Eagles. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Hobbs trails 12-2 in the top of the 5th.
All right, we are back as once again we're facing bases loaded, and here's the call with Ty Friend.
Alan Udahara, the courtesy runner for the Eagles at first now. Carlsbad with no outs on the Eagles, but Hobbs down 12-2 here in the top of the 5th. Curveball comes inside, and stop sign put up for the Eagles by Alvarado. Did not want his runners to try to get home on that one, as that was not going to be a good situation with the ball in the glove of Granger behind the plate. 1-0 count as the starter Hazen Wright continues to pitch for the Cavemen. Fastball down the middle, low and inside again for ball 2. Good eye on the both pitches by Alvarado, and he wants to do the best thing possible. He could get a walk here, and that would be an RBI as the one run would come across and get it underneath the mercy rule situation.
Exactly, that would make at least go out for another inning. However, Alvarado hasn't had any contact with the ball. He would like to do it right now.
Wright's going to go with the fastball, clips inside for strike 1, 2-1 count. Kind of a pinch in there for Hazen Wright at this point. Hasn't faced this kind of a pressure situation yet in this game, but also facing a lefty here in Alvarado. 2 balls and a strike. Deep breathe for Hazen Wright. Throws to third. Looked like he has extended on his pitch that time, but instead throws over to Hernandez, but getting back in time is the Eagles runner. That was Fuente, or make that Martinez.
Exactly.
So Hobbs definitely would like to get a run here with a 2-1 count. As Alvarado, the cleanup man, usually the guy you want to have in this position, number 4 slot. Takes a fastball outside, swing and a miss. And that's strike 2, 2-2 count now to Alvarado. And way outside that time, and causing Alvarado to come across the plate and desperately try to make some contact.
I know he hasn't even fouled off yet. Just is unable to make contact with that ball with Wright on the mound.
Here comes a pitch, fastball down the middle for strike 3, and he waited on it. Definitely don't want to do that. With that count the way it was, that Coach Boyle kind of spins around there and shaking his head. That'll be strike 3. 3 Ks on Alvarado, and that's the 10th strikeout for Hazen Wright, double digits for him. Bringing up Cole Kester. He is the DH, 1 for 2 with a double and a strikeout.
And if you can duplicate that last hit with the double, that would at least get 2 RBI, maybe even 3 possible.
Wright's going to go quickly with the fastball and outside. You better be careful of those pitches that are getting close to the ground there, because Granger's only having to extend himself to get those and keep him from being wild. That would score a run in this situation with bases loaded.
Right, but you also don't want to hit into a double play. That's definitely for certain.
1 ball and no strikes. Wright reloads on the mound, turns and fires. Fastball down the middle for the strike. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Cole Kestner. Really coming on as a DH this season.
As Hobbs wants to extend play, of course, Cole needs to hit that.
Fastball drops a sinker outside, and then, boy, coming over the top of it was Kestner. Lost his footing, and balance coming across that home plate. Didn't keep the plant the way he wanted to. And now a 1-2 count now for Kestner. He's got to protect the plate here. Expect some junk coming here from Hazen Wright.
Yeah, way out to the right, way outside.
Fastball outside, swing and a miss, and strike 3 for Kestner. 2 Ks in a row. And that will be strikeout number 11 for the starter, Hazen Wright. And 2 outs now. You don't want to leave 3 men on the base with a mercy rule situation, because that would be game over if there's another out here.
Exactly. You have your best opportunity to get some scores. You had a good run in the 3rd, but you want to do it again. And definitely you will leave the bases loaded. That would be a far cry.
Well, you got a good run in the top of the 3rd, not a good run in the bottom of the 3rd, unfortunately, defensively. Yeah. Gonzalez now 0 for 2, ground to second, flew to right. He's getting his 3rd opportunity here. 6th in the order for the Eagles, but 2 outs. Bases loaded at 12-2. 10-run lead for Carlsbad. Fastball clips the outside corner. Looked like that ball came down low, submarine style that time. Coach Boyle not saying anything about it, but the count now to 1-1 on the strike. Montez due up next in 7th. He's got the single, a stolen base as well, so he has made some contact. Here comes a 1-1 pitch now from Hazen Wright. Fastball down the middle, but barely misses the bottom of the strike zone for ball 2.
Yep.
Again, you mentioned this a minute ago, too. Keep the ball away from the bases. All it takes is a scoop and a stomp, and this game is over.
Exactly, especially now that the double doesn't have to count anymore, just a single out.
2-1 pitch, fastball, high one, swing and a miss for the strike for Gonzalez. And now it's even up at 2-2. Big pitch coming from right here. Montez praying he gets one more chance to go to the plate as well for the Eagles. He's warming up there in the batter's circle.
Not even getting any extra chances. There's not a whole lot of fouls.
Right with the fastball. And, ooh, just barely over the top of the strike zone. Thought that was going to be a ring up there for Gonzalez, and the Eagle fans breathing a sigh of relief here in Carlsbad. We got a full count on that ball call.
Yep, and one more possible opportunity. Of course, he could also walk, and that would be the one
right.
run, but still.
Can't throw too much junk here, because you definitely want to make sure that the pitch is going to call to strike, even if it's not swung at. Fastball's a strike 3. He threw the bat and thought the game was over, and that is the ball game on a K. You don't want to end that way, but unfortunately it does for Gonzalez on the 12th strikeout.
3 in a row. By
Hazen Wright. So the Hobbs Eagles don't do themselves any justice in this ball game. In fact, no hits in the last 2 innings of play, 4th or 5th. And that's a wrap in here in Carlsbad. 12-2 final Mercy Rule victory for the Carlsbad Cavemen, as they will be the district champs. If they can get, at least 2 more wins, they're going to put this thing in the books. But we'll take a quick break. 2 minutes. We'll be back with the Hobbs Eagle post-game show. Unfortunately, a loss on the road tonight in Carlsbad.
All right, we are back, and unfortunately, Hobbs just unable to get anything going. No answers for Carlsbad as they ring up 12. And here's the numbers we got for you. That is from Ty Friend.
Eagles were up 2-0, top of the third. 6 runs, 6 hits for Carlsbad in the bottom of the third, led 6-2. They got 6 more runs in the fourth to make it 12-2 the final. Mercy Roll ending in 5. So 2 innings are off the board here in the first game of the 3-set. 2 tomorrow in Hobbs, of course. Let's look at the individual numbers first for the Cavemen. They had a couple of guys with multiple hits. Eloy Lopez went 2 for 3. Pair of singles, couple of runs scored. Also, Delmonico Granger went 2 for 3. He had a RBI double, an RBI single. Also scored 2 runs in the game. And it was Aiden Quintella went 2 for 2, an RBI double with a run and a single. Was also hit by a pitch and a stolen base. So 3 guys with 2 hits apiece. Also, I missed one. Tanner Collin went 2 for 3, a 2 RBI double, another double. So he definitely was helping out the cause as well. Fabian Hernandez went 1 for 3 off a single, couple of runs scored. It was Hazen Wright, the starting pitcher, with a 1 for 3 night. He was an RBI single for his cause. And Jonas Molinar went 1 of 2 with an RBI single and a run scored. Also a walk with another run scored, so he had 2 runs. So they had a total of 7 guys out of 9 getting at least 1 hit or more in this ball game. It was Carlsbad 11 hits. They were only walked twice, only had 2 strikeouts in the game, and definitely doing a good job in this contest when you talk about the third and the fourth innings. Their 4 seniors are running the bases now, which they announced before the game, so you see them going around. You can see what that's all about. I'm sure Hobbs fans aren't too excited about that. But Hobbs Eagle numbers in this game. Perfect showing for Jason Fuentes. Went 2 for 2. He was on base all 3 times tonight. 2 singles, stolen base, a run scored. Also had a walk. Only multi-hitter for the Eagles. It was Cole Kester went 1 for 3 with a double. And Christian Montez went 1 for 2, a single, and a stolen base. So Hobbs only getting 3 guys with hits, 1 with 2. That was Fuentes. 4 hits for the Eagles. They were struck out 12 times by Hazen Wright and only walked 4 for the Eagles' cause. Again, 6-2 in the third, and it was 6-0 in the fourth. 12-2 final in favor of the Carlsbad Cavemen. Canyon Johnson and Nick Gonzalez, the 2 pitchers for Hobbs. Hazen Wright, the winner for Carlsbad. That means the Eagles will drop to 14-10 overall. They'll go to 4-3 in district. Carlsbad improves to 17-7, and they go to 6-1 in district. So 2 games remaining. Hobbs would have to win 2 games to be tied with the Cavemen in terms of the regular season, but then they'd have to go to runs scored between the 2 to see how that's all going to wash out. If Hobbs wins and loses one tomorrow, 1-1, it's going to be Carlsbad district champs for the regular season.
Exactly, but the thing is with Hobbs, either they lose big or they win small. They get they did this with Carlsbad. They definitely did it with Roswell, where they got 1-run games. So if they are able to get back as far as their bats into this series, they're going to have to do it very, very fast because, like I said, they win their games, but they don't do it very big. And Carlsbad is not one to give up any kind of runs, and we've seen that already. They did that in the third. After that, they pretty much shut Hobbs down and made it their own game and just said, look, this is what we can do. We can score runs. 6 in the third, 6 in the fourth, and that's pretty much all they had to do.
Another factor tomorrow is we already got the score earlier that Clovis beat Roswell in the first game of their triple set. They've got a doubleheader tomorrow. If Clovis sweeps Roswell, which could happen, it might not, but it could, that would be 3 more wins of their record. Hobbs loses all 3 of their games, including the 2 tomorrow. That would put Hobbs in third in the district, which is going to hurt you a little bit in terms of seeding. I think their strength of schedule probably still be a little bit tougher than Clovis, but still, you don't want to drop into that third spot, especially when you have 2 home games to wrap up the season tomorrow.
And here's what we've always said. You need to go out there and make your own destiny. You don't want to just lose and hope that others will be able to work with you and make you go in through the back door. You want to go ahead and get those runs. I know they're going to be more aggressive tomorrow. They're going to be at home anyway. And Carlsbad does struggle away. In fact, they are they're 7-7 away. So they do have a weak spot on that side. Hobbs could still come in, win 2, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to be grueling. And they've got to do everything they can offensively, defensively, and, of course, the main thing is don't make any of those piddly little mistakes that cost you in the end 1 to 2 runs at a time.
Again, 12-2 to final here in Carlsbad. The Cavemen are in the first slot in district, unless the Hobbs Eagles get a couple of wins tomorrow and beat the tiebreaker for the region or the district championship regular season. Tomorrow we'll have the pregame show of Game 2 at 4:15, first pitch at 4:30, and another game after that. It is senior night, so we'll be celebrating the 7 Hobbs Eagles seniors at the games as well. Hope you had a good time with us tonight here in Carlsbad, as we'll be back with you tomorrow. For Ron Gunner, myself, Ty Friend, Tiffany Stuber back at the station. Have a great rest of a Thursday night.